And a very good afternoon and welcome to Tarwin, where all the Mid-Gippsland Football Netball League action kicks off today. Winning you into the grand final, big day of football. Joining myself, the Jeep behind the microphones for today's commentary, James Durkin. Welcome, Dirks.
Thanks, Jake. Good to be here.
And looks like being a absolute ripping day of football and netball, of course. We'll bring you those scores as quickly as we can throughout the course of the day. We've just seen the twos game run and won, and it's Yinnar off to another grand final in the reserves.
Yep, MDU lost their first game for the year. Bad time to do it.
And I think Yinnar might have been looking at grand final number 3 or 4 in a row, Dirks. Is something like that?
Yeah, well, they're always thereabouts. Shows what a good club and good depth they have.
So, Sam, you've got the scores from the early game there for us?
Yes, Yinnar 64 points, MDU 37, so that'll be correct. Yinnar goes to the big dance in the twos.
And MDU will get the double chance and come again. Next week, off to Foster, they'll head and they'll play the winner of tomorrow's final, Dirkshire, across the two setup.
Yeah, Tarwin versus Newborough tomorrow. I think the top two really asserted themselves a long way ahead of the pack in the reserves competition. So expect MDU to bounce back against Tarwin.
But, of course, all the focus today is on the main game. Beautiful conditions for it too. Slight breeze. You wouldn't go and say it was overly warm out there today, but the weather shouldn't have any impact whatsoever on the game.
No, not at all. I think it'd just be pure finals football.
And the two sides have seen each other twice this year, both winning away from home, which is pretty interesting. Yinnar beaten by a single point, and basically the Brett Eddy factor. He kicked 7 of his sides, 10 at Yinnar, and they won by a point. They hadn't led that game since about 5 minutes in the second quarter, and Eddy just said, we choose to win now, and that's exactly what they did. And in the follow-up game, in a wet, windy and wild Foster, Yinnar got the job done pretty comfortably by about 4 or 5 goals, but Foster did have a couple of blokes not playing that day, one of them being Brett Eddy. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. Both sides pretty much look, to my eye, full strength, Dirks.
Yeah, I'm looking at it at full strength. I don't see Luke Tapscott out there in a Tigers jumper, but that's the only one I can see missing. Yinnar look to be as strong as they can. I heard 2 weeks ago that Yinnar have one injury to their whole club, and that's Jarrett Garlick in the two. So everyone's fit and fine except for one bloke.
Yeah, there you go. That's good for this time of the year. And, Sam, you've got a couple of key matchups you'll be keeping an eye on and letting us know who's on who. A couple of goal kickers, big goal kickers at each end of the ground.
Yes, Geary, Greenseed Jones and Will Robinson are up for Yinnar, and Eddie, Jack Weston and Jack Best for Foster.
Yeah, so Best and Eddie, I think, read somewhere in the week, a couple of thousand goals between them in their career, so probably fair to say they can kick and catch a prune all right, Dirks.
Yeah, a lot of focus will go there, but don't discount Sean Chaseling down there. The fifth beetle, so to speak, number 3 Banana. Just as long as they don't get Brett Eddy and Jake Best conscious, they should be able to find some winners up there.
And another one on the forwards for Foster that wasn't playing when Yinnar got them at Foster was Michael Cook. I think he might be the vice-captain of the side, Dylan Williams the captain. I think that's how it works. But Cook, such a strong operator, gets right up onto the wings to give his side the option for the long bailout kicks from defence. Real workhorse. He too will obviously take a handful of watching in the Foster forward line.
Yeah, just be the link man. You don't need Brett Eddy and Jake Best catching the footy on the wing in front of us. You want Cookie doing that and wheeling and going and letting Bestie and Eddie do their best work inside 50.
The game that was in the wet, wasn't the captain Dylan Williams missing? Because from the games that I've watched, when it comes to racking up those effective possessions, he's a link in the chain.
Went off during the game that day. He went off injured. And same day, Ben Sheffers, the Yinnar captain, who plays a very similar style of footy to Dylan, wasn't available for Yinnar. So that's a kind of a like-for-like inclusion, if you like, for wanting using the word like too many times in a sentence. But, yeah, those two coming back in probably offset each other a little bit. Ben's a multiple best and fairest winner, won a league medal, and Dylan Williams, well, you don't get to captain the Foster footy side if you can't play the game. So he'll bring plenty to the middle of the ground. And I think the middle of the ground, Dirks, is where all the action is. I'm big on the ruckman. I really think ruckman are so crucial. Every time we kick a goal, every time we start a quarter or start a game, they're involved. The battle between Jesse Bowe and Bobby Linton up against Jack Rathjen in the ruck. I thought Foster might have gone for a lot and picked 2 ruckmen. They've chosen not to. How do you see that playing out over the 4 quarters?
I think just Jesse Bowe is just going to bash and crash. Although they don't get much taller than him in the league. I don't know if anyone is actually taller than him, but he'll just bash and crash. And Bobby Linton will give Nixon Hall, DV, Clancy Mills. He'll give them all first use.
Yeah, not to underscore the importance of the midfield battle. Couple of guns on the other side as well, mate. There are some blokes in there that can seriously play football.
Yeah, Tom Schneider's the one I'm looking for. I've got him down for a big day inside there.
Yeah, well, you can have time. I'm all in on Jack Weston. I said we argued last week whether he's the best kick in the comp or not, and hopefully he can prove it today. He's one of those guys that makes, if you like your cricket, compare him to Mark Waugh. I reckon he makes making 100 look simple sometimes. The hard stuff is just so easy for him. Finds time where there isn't any balance, poise, and just an absolute star of the game. So
don't get drafted if you don't know how to kick a pigskin.
yeah, so he'll be one in there to watch as well. And we spoke earlier about a guy that I've actually missed the last couple of times and gone back and had a look at the replay. And Bailey Angwin has been outstanding for Foster and probably flown under my radar. So apologies to him and his mum if she's at home listening in. But I reckon we'll keep an eye on him today as well and see if he actually produces now that the focus will go on him to a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. It's once again it's just another name that gets lost in there with all the superstars. Just a workhorse, just gets his job done. You can try spend all your resources to stop Schneider and Weston from getting the footy, but you can forget about the local boys that have been here forever, and the club means so much to them that they put the club on their back and go follow me.
Yeah, 100%. He plays exactly like that now. We do like to have a little bit of competition amongst ourselves here and go for the winner and the winning margin. Now, I'm not going to preempt what anyone wants to say or do, but if someone comes up with a winning margin of more than 3 or 4 goals, so I reckon you might need to go and see the boys at WADA. This is going to be an absolute ripper. Sam, you can open the batting.
All right, I think Foster will get in by 11 points.
Foster by 11. Dirks?
Foster by 15 points for me.
Foster by 15. Wowee. Yinnar knocked him off last time. Yinnar will knock him off this time. Yinnar by 3. And I tell you what, if it's 3 points in at the end of the game, you'd want to be on the radio if you're not here listening in, because it'll be an absolutely thrilling finish to the game. And I can just see Ken Hutchinson, who's had to pull out of the commentary duties today to take on some official duties for the Yinnar Footy Club as well as his league role, walking towards us. Sam, we might just kill your microphone and you can yell out to Hutchie, and we'll get him to give us a tip and a margin as well, because we want him involved as much as humanly possible.
Hey, Hutchie!
So,
Who do you think's going to win by how much?
I'm glad we turned his microphone off.
Yeah, you can still hear him echoing.
So just having a look at the bench here. Who we got coming to the bench for the Foster boys here, Dirks?
I don't know, wait for a number to turn around on me. Man in the helmet. We got 11, 29. Let me get it down. Bailey Angwin, man on the bench. Harry Flavel. And I reckon that might be the other Flavel. 30.
Jack?
Liam Bentley.
Okay.
Liam Bentley, the other one.
Okay, so it's Bobby Linton, Ben Skinner, and
Clancy Mills.
Clancy Mills was the third one. I did see the third one. Sam, grab a seat now that you're back and tell the people what Hutchie said.
Oh, I missed it, sorry.
Don't worry about it, Sam. We'll get the game underway. We've got umpire Essler in the middle.
Count your 50s.
We do like umpire Essler. He's very authoritative, and we know where we stand, and we're half a chance for 100. So here we go to get things underway. Winning you into the granny. It's big Jesse Bow up against Rathjen in the middle of the ground, and Bow gets his hand to it first but doesn't go to a teammate. Stacks on the mill. Free kick paid. Umpire Essler gives a free kick in the middle of the ground, and it goes Foster's way. And it'll go to Bailey Angwin himself. He goes wide, far side of the ground onto the wing, goes completely laterally, sets his teammate a task. Sheffers lays a tackle, impacts a kick, but Mark taken up there, centre wing by Foster. They roll, come round to half forward, find a winner in front of the footy. Mark taken, right in front of the change rooms there at Tarwin, as Foster are kicking towards the Venus Bay end. Kick Mark, and there we go. We've got an early one off umpire Wrestler, you beauty.
Number 1.
Number 1 in the book, the 50's paid. A mark taken just outside the forward 50 by Foster. A little bit of impact, a little bit of interference, and umpire Wrestler says, come for a hike. And we'll go and take this shot from about 10 metres out. So this will be exactly the start that Foster were after, as they're going to have a set shot from all the best of 15 yards out, would you say, Dirks?
Yeah, 15, 20 metres out. Go do your routine. Couldn't tell you for the life of me who's kicking for goal, though.
We'll work it out pretty rapidly because there'll be a mad celebration. Everyone will get around him at 100 miles an hour. So he comes in, a little hop, a skip and a jump, kick on its way. He gets underneath it and pushes it far side in the ultimate letdown because, gee whiz, that would have been exactly the start they were after. But not to be. And it's Harry McCall down there doing the kicking in duties. He takes off for a gallop, has a bounce and then goes thump. and laces out a teammate on centre wing. Quick handball, puts his teammate under pressure. Sheffer's wrapped up by Weston, chucked on the ground, flicks a handball forward. Get it. Heading in there's young Harvey Mackay. He's grabbed without it. I would have thought the umpire says play on, so play on they do. And they win the ball by going backwards through hands now. Pump it into the forward 50. Numbers behind the footy down there for Foster. And a strong mark taken in defence. And Dirk, she's going to have to lean back a little bit there, bro. Just so I can see who's got the footy in the back pocket. It looks like Rhodes will do the kicking in there. Can lean forward and tell the people what's happening.
I know who we got. Rhodes has it now. Back pocket at the entrance end. Brings a switch over here now to the man in the long sleeves, Liam Bentley. Swings it wide. Rhodes drops the footy. Will pushed out of bounds there. So Foster dodged a massive bullet there. Very hard here. Obstructive view from the wood pillars.
That's what you get when you pay $8 for the tickets. You don't pay full price to get the obstructive viewing.
Ball thrown in. Pratt doing the ruck work up forward here. Foster win it down. Pratt, Hollywood handball over the top. Grinston Jones, long way from home for him. Barges through, which should have been holding the ball. Harry McCall, long way up as well. D'Avilio, running round. Kick smothered. Foster looking to clear now, and it should be a secondary ball up here.
Sam, a couple of matchups.
Yep, Geary's been looked after by Brock Cripps. Grinston Jones by Aaron Rhodes. Chapman's on Eddie and Stocks on Weston.
Good work by you. Ball up in the forward 50 for Yinnar. No one can get it cleanly. Angus Norton comes in, just hacks the ball into a little bit of space. Ball on the ground to be one. Stolk goes in, picks it up, goes backwards via the hands. They're linking well here. Ball ends up in the hands of Harry McCall on centre wing. He's wrapped up in a tackle. And it stacks on the mill. We've played a couple of minutes. It's 1 point to no score. Foster leading. We haven't got a scoreboard that we can see here. So old Sam Crane, the stats man's doing it all. He'll be writing down the scores. The inside 50s, the tackles. And if he's doing the hit-outs, Rafton just won that one down there then. But Bo goes back in and wins the footy at ground level. Flicks the ball back towards the middle. Mackay can't take it cleanly. Now they're off to the races. They get a ball out here towards Jacobson. He puts a handball out to a teammate who gets wrapped up and thrown on the ground. Toner now picks it up for Foster. Kicks the ball into the forward 50. First opportunity down there. And the intercept mark's taken down there, and they've cut it off well, Dirks.
Certainly have. McCall there, helping out Chappie on Brett Eddy there. McCall long down the line. Man in the lid's going to sit under this. That's a big pack. That's a big crush. Norton again. Goes through. Lays a tackle. Ball spills out. Weston again. Hack forward. Chappie by himself. Doesn't get there. Just doesn't get there in time. The old legs couldn't move. Foster move forward now. Big pack forms. Top of the square. Comes out the back. Stolk should pick this up. Fumbles up forward. Tom Robbo comes in and lays the tackle to butter up for his teammate. And we have a full stoppage in Yinnar's forward pocket.
Gee, fair bit of ticket from young Gus Norton there. There's nothing of him. He's the size of a jockey, and he stood under 2 or 3 racehorses. Ball up in the forward 50 there again for Foster. Sam, lean back. You're right, me view, buddy. So Foster win the footy. Yinnar win the footy, kick it outside defensive 50. Sheffers gets a fist on it and puts it over the boundary line for a throw in.
Foster have had repeated inside entries. They're on 6, and Yinnar's on their solitary 2.
So we'll ball this one in, far side of the ground, just in front of the canteen. Hot chips were good earlier. Weston on the drive-by, can't take it cleanly. Ball to be won at ground level. He falls right into his back. And umpire Essler saw what I saw. And they can come laterally if they want to Banbury, who's just come on the ground, but they ignore that. And why wouldn't you ignore it when you've got the likes of Eddie and Best in front of you? Now they take that internal option on. Ball gets out the back. Jacobson grabs it, flicks a handball back. It's gone back there to Tom Robinson. He just goes thump and kicks it as far as he can. And he'll be quite content if that trickles over the boundary line, which it does. Right in front of the Australian flag over there, which sits between the netball court and the football field. And here come the interchanges. There's about 6 or 7 coming on and off at the one time. Skinner on. Walsh on. Angwin on. It's all happening. Ball gets thrown back in. Ball ends up the middle of the ground. Norton with a clever little tap over the top. Morris tries to get a shoe to it. Can't. Sheffers in the middle of the ground. Picks it up. He's wrapped up in a tackle. They come in from all directions. Flick the handball out to go forward. Nixon Hall gets his first look at the footy. Turns it over at halfback. Grinstead Jones throws his weight around. Throwing his weight around there also Harvey Mackay, the youngster, but it doesn't impact the kick. Toner takes the mark on wing. Has a bounce. Has a second. Gets to within about 70. Kicks the ball in long. It's a 1v1. Good luck if you're on Eddie. Ball comes to ground. Chaseling picks it up. Swings around the corner. Snap to the top of the square. Numbers back there, though, for Yinnar. And the mark taken down there by Sam Walsh. And he's got a dangerous option on if he wants to go for it, but he goes short instead, Dirks.
Goes to Tom Rubber in the pocket, doing what he does best, not manning up and sitting in the pocket, getting cheaps. He'll look down the line now. Comes up just in front of us here. Big pack forms. Yep, come the Flyers. Great mark there in the long sleeves. Bentley takes the mark. Swings on. Man up forward. Lockie Rathjen goes long. Fat side kick. Here the big boys go. Oh, he paid the free kick. Against. It's a big win there early for Yinnar.
So Chapman will take the free kick and go thump with that left leg. It only goes 55 these days, not 65, but he's done well to find a teammate. Mark not paid. Play on they say, so play on they do. And he said, you're not going to pay me the mark. I'll get the free kick and win it anyway. And that's James D. DeViglio. Kicks it up to the half-forward line. Geary gets it on half-forward. Reels onto the left leg. 1v1 in front of the footy. Pratt goes back. Only got his opponent to beat. Can't take it cleanly. Foster with numbers. They get a little handball backwards now. They've got some numbers down there. If they use this well, they can set up defence into attack, and that's exactly what they do. Mark taken by Ray. Gets a handball further afield. Weston now on the wing. Got the chance to have a bounce if he likes. Turns the Jets on. Has a second one. Good luck catching up with him. Lasers a kick in. Can't find a target, though. Boundary line will win. Sam, what do you got for us?
Liam Bentley is looking after Will Robinson of Yinnar.
Good work on the matchups. Dirks, tell the people what's happening as Bobby Linton looks to come on.
All right, ball thrown in. Best looks like that's Best doing the ruck work. Tap down forward. DV runs away with it now. Kicks an absolute sack. Didn't see many drop punts from him ever. Geary front and centre here. Just uses all his time and experience. Kicks it long in forward. Pratt one-on-one. Dropped it. Foster come in for reinforcements. They'll soccer out the ground, and they will get a throw in unless the umpire wants to insert themselves here in the game.
Keep going, James. I can't see around the corner.
Neither can I, but I'm waiting for the young fella to throw the ball back in. Pratt in the ruck. Rathjen wins it down. Just a nice shallow hit. Ball bobbling around in the Yinnar's forward pocket. Woo, he's crashed in there. Nearly could have paid the high there. Very obstructive view here. Yinnar's forward pocket.
Vandermeer on DeViglio off.
Yeah, DV off. Yinnar, hash out. Foster clearing. Hollywood handball over the back. McCall is loose out the back. Kicked up forward. Foster have the numbers. They punch it through. No, went out of bounds instead for the rush behind.
So we'll toss this one in right up hard against the point post in Yinnar's forward 50. Haven't had the ball down there a lot, Sam. We'll have those inside 50s for us at quarter time. It's suggested to be 2-1 favouring Foster, though, as the umpire flicks this one back into play. Pratt does the ruck work, gets front position, brings the ball to ground. No one's able to get a hand or shoe to it. Flicks around, and the umpire's found a free kick. And it's going to go Yinnar's way. And they're screaming set up. They've got zero faith in the bloke going back to have the shot on the goal by the sounds of things. Not sure why. He's only 20 out directly in front, and it's Flynn Schill. And I'll back him in. Just go back to the middle of the ground. The meatball comes in from 15 out directly in front. Easy as you like. Finds the big sticks, and we've got one on the scoreboard. Finally, Yinnar leading 1 goal straight to Foster 2 behinds.
Would you say it's one against the runner play?
Yeah, 100%. So back in the middle we go. Linton gets his first crack at the ruck. Gets a nice little backhander down to Mills. Can't quite get as far as Mills. Linton goes back and picks it up. Gets turfed on the ground. Umpire says play on, so play on they do. Snap around the corner there from young Harvey Mackay. Gets the ball to the half-forward line. The 2 long-sleeve jerseys join up there for Foster, and one of them wins a free kick. And they go bang and switch play straight away to Norton. The little pocket rocket usually found at the bottom of every pack. He doesn't miss too often by foot either. Finds a teammate out there on the burst in Rathjen. Rathjen then comes down to centre wing. Mark taken. And they'll just steady the ship here for a second as Yinnar look to flood back. They come into the middle of the ground to Toner. He marks still on the wing. And they go down the line again. Lovely lead-up mark option. Is that Cook out there taking his hands on the footy?
Yeah, that's Cook.
He rolls, goes to the top of the square. This is the one we're after, the hot spot, the dangerous spot. The big boys fly. Yinnar doing well. McCall at ground level. They flick it round through the hands. Very composed down there. James Jacobson, release kick comes out. Toner intercepts. Ball on ground level. Foster just pick it up and kick it to the 25-metre out directly in front position. Ground level, picked up, snap round the corner. Curls it too far, minor score only.
That was Jack Rathton down there. Good front and centre scrum. McCall going down to take the kick in now.
He's played on the last couple of times and kicked at the centre wing, and I reckon he fancies his chances in a foot race with Jake Best, who's on the mark. So let's see what he does here. And they're setting up far side of the ground by the looks of things, and that's where he looks to be aiming. He dawdles out and then just puts it under his arm and trots off, runs 15, kicks at 60, and he does find centre wing. Robinson comes up, drops what he should have taken. Mackay, brilliant front and centre. Yinnar through hands now, end up with Geary. Geary goes back to Mackay. Vandermeer, he finds Grinstead Jones. Grinstead Jones goes bang from 45, and he's nearly kicked it out of the stadium. He's nearly kicked it out onto the road because he's missed the whole 21 yards and put it out of bounds on the full. Really good transition there from Yinnar, and probably the opportunity wasted a little bit, Dirks.
Yeah, and end-to-end footy, it was pretty pure. The only mistake was Robinson dropping the mark and then the last kick, the money kick.
So they've gone to fetch the footy from Venus Bay. Still haven't got it back in the venue yet. That's how far he missed it, boy.
There's one-on-one all over the ground, so this will just be your classic dump kick down the line, I think.
So, looking to get the ball back still.
This quarter's going to go 40 minutes.
The secondary umpire's just materialised, and then he's gone, nah, all good. They found the other one. We'll just go back to using that. So now the kick will come in from the back pocket. As called by Dirks, long, down the line, dump kick. No one able to mark it. Foster winning at ground level, flick the ball back to Norton. Norton goes on his left shoe round the corner. Boundary line might win the argument here, and that'll probably do as it trickles over for a throw-in. Just in front of that Australian flag again. Couldn't be further away if they tried, which is a little bit of a pain unless you got the binoculars. And we'll toss it back in. Linton beaten comprehensively by Rafton, comes down to Norton. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Ball then spins to Mills. Mills goes in hard. Umpire says play on. So play on they do. Umpire not in control pays a free kick for high contract. So we'll bring it back to the centre of the ground for a free kick going Foster's way to Norton.
Shock horror. He was at the bottom of the pack.
And he goes forward and finds a teammate there in Best. He gets onto the left shoe and goes thump. Kicks it forward towards Eddie. Eddie versus McCall. Ball hits the deck. Foster with numbers. Now they go the secondary option and kick it in. Yinnar fly from 3-4 deep. Take the mark, and the umpire says play on, so play on they do. Shield down there. Ducks, weaves, turns the handball over in a dangerous spot. Ball to be won at ground level. Yinnar just get it and thump it down the line, Dirks.
Yep, Jacobson clears. Great pack. Great fire from Robinson there. Foster clear out now. Great breaking tackle. They'll go long now. This 3 guesses where this has gone. It's 6-on-1. Ball flies down. And he's paid the free kick for a tackle that didn't really stick on young Ollie McCall. Who we got lining up here, Jeep? Turner?
16.
Chaseling.
Your man, you said before the start of the game he could be the big difference. He's the third banana.
Yep, you can worry about the big two, but if the third one gets off the chain, you can still lose. Lines up, 35 metres out, directly in front. Goes through his routine. He's got the distance, and it goes through the middle. Foster on the board here at Tarwin. I say take the score to Sam.
The score is Yinnar 1 goal 6. And the other team is 1 goal 3, so there's a point lead.
No worries.
To Foster.
So it's 1-3 plays 1 straight?
1-1.
1-1 plays 1-3.
Okay, so 2 point lead to Foster.
Yeah.
Interesting, both goals coming from free kicks in the forward 50. Back in the middle we go. Bo back on the ground. Gets over the top. Gets his hand to it. Vandermeer's first there at ground level. Now they crack in from both sides. Ball pops out there. Rafton couldn't take it. Now they've got it through Skinner. Gets onto the trusty left leg and goes thump. And it's a decent old thump in terms of distance, but not accuracy. And he's managed to pop it out of bounds on the full. And Foster will turn defence into attack. Mark taken in the back pocket here by Harry Flavel. No one near him, but the kick's done under pressure, and he's put it out of bounds for a throw-in about 60, 70 metres around from the Yinnar goal.
Ball in now in front of the Yinnar's bench. 2 ruckman fly. They jostle. No clear winner. Weston again just ducks and weaves through traffic, and he's got an absolute paddock now. He's the best kick in the comp. He'll lace someone out. 6 bounces through centre. Goes forward. Long to the square. One-on-ones everywhere. Robinson missed it. They'll clear now through Walsh. Comes out to Chapman. Goes for the handball to McCall. McCall will go. Oh, he sells a bit of candy and then goes along with that trusty foot. Misses DeVillio and Robinson. Robinson over the top. Misses it all. Foster's looking to clear through the middle here. And they come steaming through for their captain, Dill Williams. Panic kick in the midfield there. Boy, he paid the free kick. Yeah, he paid for the hold, and he got it. The man in the sleeve, or I think that's Liam Bentley.
Yeah, Bentley up in the middle of the ground, held without it.
DeVillio giving away the free kick there.
The forward 50 entries have been a shambles for Foster so far. That one's much better, goes to a one-on-one. They bring it down, Skinner in there for Yinnar, Stacks on the mill. But what I was saying, Dirks, is they're kicking into that forward 50, just been kick it in and Eddie or Best will mark it. You've got to kick it to their advantage, at least I would have thought.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're just names on paper.
So Bo goes up, wins at a ground level. Weston comes in, just hacks the ball forward. Luck's a fortune if you play in front, and they do. Foster have got their hands on the footy, but wrapped up in the tackle was best. And he's taken the ground about 35 out on a 45-degree angle. And we'll toss this one into the air. Bit of physicality in the ruck work there, and the umpire saw what I saw, and Jesse Bowl will take the free kick, get past him for the handball. Get past him for the handball, they do. Tom Robinson, thank you very much. And he kicks to a half-back flank. Blake Vandermeer leads in the contest. Ball out of bounds for a throw-in. Sam, what do you got for us?
Made an error of the score. It's Foster 1-2, Yinnar 1 goal, so it's 2 points.
So we'll throw this one back into play in front of the change rooms. Big Jesse Bow back out there doing the ruck work. Interestingly, Bobby Linton stayed on the park and gone into the defensive area. Bow down. Norton takes it. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Mills, and we'll toss it back in the air. Up she goes again. Neither ruckman can get it. Yinnar, hack kick forward, but it's going to get turned over in the middle of the ground. The skipper again, Williams. A nice little chip kick. Finds a winner in front of the footy. Now they roll. There's a kick to advantage. Eddie one-on-one. Probably over the shoulder for mine, and over the shoulders paid. That's the difference with the entries, Dirks. You give it to their advantage, and the big boys get the job done.
Yeah, you can't, and no one could defend that. I reckon Alex Rance would have struggled. Kick to advantage, let the big boy extend his hands, get the free kick for the top of the arms.
So he'll go back from about 35 out. He's done this 1,290 odd times in his career, so you can't see this being a problem. He'll go right-hand goal post, and the Breeze will just bring it back in ever so slightly. And it's changing of the guard time down here for Foster. 3 on, 3 off. Kick on its way. It's got a bit of height about it. And he's kicked it exactly, and I mean exactly as far as it needed to go, because Big Jesse Bow's got a finger on it, literally a foot behind the goal line.
Just knew his range, I guess. Just put the 7 iron out and just lobbed it straight onto the ground.
3 goals, 3 free kicks.
Yeah, it's all about the pressure now. Who can keep their cool?
Good finish, though, and that's what it takes. If you get that opportunity, you've got to take it on a day like this.
Must be red time. All the good players have come to the bench. Angus Norton off for Foster and Geary off for Yinnar. They've both been everywhere.
So back in the middle we go. Ball goes up, ball comes down. No one on the attacking side for Foster, which is where the ball ended up. So the Yinnar half-backs come through and say, thanks very much. Sheffers ends up with it and just hacks it forward in the Flynn Shill direction. He's got a couple to beat. He's as strong as an ox, but he's not necessarily quick enough. And that's how it plays out as Foster win that footy and kick down the line. Over to you, Dirks.
Williams kicked it forward, bubbling around here. DeVillio runs it round, kicks a massive switch kick. That is great vision. I won't give him credit. I don't reckon he saw that bloke out there. Looks like Jacobson here has a centre to himself. Assesses his options, comes laterally to Nixon Hall. Nixon Hall will come now wide to Ben Sheffers. Not the man to leave alone, I don't think, on centre wing. Ben Sheffers wheels and goes long. Will Robinson in a pack, jumps up, 3 on 1, not the option really. Foster clear. Up goes Bobby Linton. Bobby Linton with the 1-on-1 win gets it out of bounds, and that's a very good win by Bobby Linton.
Got his hands to a lot today so far, Will Robinson. Hasn't yet clunked any. When they start sticking, could be a problem for Foster.
It could be.
Well, if they start sticking. Well, I'll ball this one up right in front of the Yinnar coach's box where Sam McCulloch watches on. They flick it back into play. Jesse Bowe just says, I'm going to hit it there, and that's where it goes. Over the top of the contest, though, and it's Foster off to the races through Cripps. Cripps kicks into Eddie, who gets up, gets both Dukes to it. Can't complete the mark. Best backs out of it. And gets legged on the way. And he says, I'm playing on, Stokey, you better watch out. And he plays on, and he goes bang. And it's another one to Foster. And it's another goal from another free kick.
Yeah, but the big boys are doing what they need to do. You want the big boys kicking goals. It's what you want the coach to do. Took the moment, seize the moment. What do you got for us, Sam?
Foster, three goals, 2, and Yinnar are still on 1 goal straight.
Just found one that I like to watch in the middle, Sam. I can see young Clancy Mills is trying to get to Jack Weston and ruffle him up a little bit and just annoy him for 2 hours. I don't know how that'll go for him because I don't think Weston will bother too much with it.
Yes, Clancy Mills is following Weston around the ball, but when he snuck forward, Oliver McCall picks him up.
So back in the middle we go. Probably need the next one, as silly as it sounds, and they're half a sniff as they win the ball out of the middle. Bit of holding on going on there, and the umpire says holding on it was. Free kick Foster. And they switch it and find Bentley. He's got Norton in front of him. He finds Norton. Norton's got a handball to give, ignores that and gets on the right shoe this time. Finds a teammate in the middle of the ground. They're doing it pretty comfortably here, the Foster boys. The kick comes in, favours the leading forward. And he's going to do that for fun all day, Brett Eddy. Doesn't matter how many blokes you put in front of him. You put the footy on top of his head, he catches the bloody thing because he is good at football.
That's a great kick inside 50. Got it just over Jesse Bowe's hand, and that's a very long way to get over.
Quick inside 50s. Foster's leading at the moment. They're on 18 because they've had repeated ones, and Yinnar, they've got a lazy 10.
So in he comes, the superstar from 40 out directly in front. Doesn't kick it quite as high this time, but kicks it quite as straight. That's another one. Big trouble in Little China here for the Magpies early doors.
Boy, he liked that off the boot. He kicked it and turned around and said to the midfield, set up. Go back to where you're going to.
That's a quality finish from a quality footballer, and now need to put the slows on this big time. Getting on the edge of quarter time, he'd suggest, and down a couple of goals, down a few goals. Firing signs.
21 points, actually.
Tom Robinson to the bench too, and probably not the bloke I'd take off at this stage. You'd think you'd want your general down there to marshal the troops and keep it under wraps till quarter time, but what would I know? I just play twos.
Well, back in the middle they go. Bowe's been winning the taps. They haven't been winning the clearances. Let's see what they can do about that. Bowe doesn't win this tap. Flynn Schill probably held without it. Weston crashes in, creates a spillage, goes in again. Cripps now gets his hands on it. Half a kick. Another big tackle laid. It's a hot footy to be won, and it's Foster winning it. They come up to the half-forward line. In front of the footy there's Stolk. Stolk gets his kick in as he's tackled by Best. It goes all the way to half-forward. Mark taken down there, though, very comfortably by Dylan Williams, again being good across half-back. He goes out to Banbury. Banbury stands still and everyone runs past him. And he says, don't mind me, I'm just going to kick the ball in there to Harry. So Harry Flavel now far wing. Grabs the footy. Dishes off a handball. The kick comes in. There's a cluster down there. The big boys are going to fly. Fist from Yinnar comes over the top. Gets the ball clear. They've got numbers at ground level if they can win it. Norton lays a tackle and puts the pressure on. He's been bloody good, Angus, so far. He's been bloody good offensively and bloody good defensively. Wins the stoppage far side of the ground, halfway between the canteen and the shower. And we'll toss this one back into play, Dirks.
You certainly will. The big boys fly again. Jesse Bowe and Rathton will call that a bit today, I think. Bowe probably has one on that. Foster looked to clear it. I reckon we're going to... Jacobson runs around away from us on the opposite side. That's a big tackle by Flynn Shield, and he's pushed over the boundary line. We'll have a secondary throw in, and there's a bit of argy-bargy, and umpire just say, oh, no, they've inserted themselves and paid a free. So Flynn Shield has it in front of the social rooms.
You are looking to set up the switch here. The first kick's got to be good, but after that, they're out. If he does it, ignores it and goes long down the line, so you're going to assume Robinson or Bowe or both, and neither, because Foster winning at ground level as they've done all day. Norton, again, they're going to have to tag him. They're going to have to put a hard shutdown roll on Norton. He's just been everywhere. He finds a teammate at half forward, lead into the pocket by Eddie. He's 1v1, protects the drop of the footy for a teammate. Quality football there from the superstar. He says, it's not all about me today, boys. And protected the teammate's space beautifully, and a chest mark taken in the forward pocket.
I reckon that's Chaseling.
Yeah, it's Chaseling, sorry. Yeah, it's 16. Look at Bestie. Bestie puts a lead in.
Missed it.
Yeah, probably have the shot. Probably have the shot, I reckon, because now they've just got a stoppage 30 metres out directly in front of goal. As Ollie Colquitt comes off and Bailey Angwin goes on. The ball gets tossed up. Foster win it at the coalface, but Yinnar win it with the first possession, and they're out here if they got the mark taken in the back pocket. Clancy Mills puts on a lead. That's ignored. Nixon Hall puts on a lead. That's ignored. And now they're just going to have to go thump down the line, are they, Dirks?
Yeah, thump down the line, and McCall, professional free kick there by Bailey Angwin, just knocked him over. He dropped the mark, but it was a free kick for front on contact. So McCall has it. Looks very likely this just has to go to Jesse Bowe down the line, and that's what it does. Right in front of us here. They fly, and it just lands in Nixon Hall's lap. In they come now. Switches on now. They can move around. The captain, Blake Vandermeer, has it. Assesses his options. Goes far side. Goes to the fat side. Great defensive mark by the man in the sleeve, Liam Bentley. Man after my own heart. A long sleeve in any weather. They go down to the bottom side. Foster look to bring back inside now to Lockie Rafton. Rafton assesses his options now. Comes inside to the skipper, Williams, who has the centre all to himself for some reason. Short off to the man who has his own football here. The man in the lid, Angus Norton. He won the league BNF, if Yinnar didn't know, last year. Kicks to half forward. Spoolage. Norton picks his own footy up. Handballs out the back. Dump kick forward now by Foster. Big mongrel torpedo. The big boys go up. No free kick. Yinnar look to clear, and the siren is welcome relief there for Yinnar. We head into quarter time, and Sam, I reckon the score was probably about 4 goals.
Statsman's just bunked off to find out who a mystery player on the park is. But that first quarter there was absolutely fantastic, the way Foster controlled the tempo of the game. They came back through the middle at will. They managed to get the ball into the deep 50, forward 50 area often enough that they were able to score, and Yinnar's got to shake things up. They've got to get someone on Norton, they've got to get someone on Western, and what they've got to do is get the ball into their forward 50 a few more times and then do some scoring of their own. But that's all to play out over the next 3 quarters. We'll take a few sponsors' messages and come back and give you all the first quarter wrap-up in about 2 or 3 minutes' time. And welcome back to the Tarwin Rec Reserve, where we've got a very interesting first quarter just played out. The sees Foster very comfortably leading over Yinnar early doors. Sam, you've got a whole bunch of stats and the scores for us. Hit us with them, brother, and let's see what you got to say.
Foster 4-2-26, Yinnar 1-0-6. The centre clearances, well, folks, 3 apiece. Yinnar 12 inside 50s as compared to 22 repeated entries by Foster. Contested possession, Foster's 46, uncontested 38. They had 7 free kicks. The same for Yinnar, they had 7 free kicks, but the contested and uncontested possession, for Yinnar were 35 apiece, and I would say efficiency would be the problem.
So there's the numbers, the data. Dirks, give us the more ethereal view of what's going on. What have you seen here that's not borne out in Sam's facts and figures?
Foster's best players are playing well. You want your prime movers getting the footy. Dill Williams has been on fire. The man in the lead, Angus Norton, he's the best man on the ground. So is Jack Weston. The big boys up forward are firing. Just for Yinnar, a lot of their good players have gears that they can lift. Obviously, you've got Kane Grinston Jones hasn't really got near it. DeVillio, Nixon Hall, they can all lift. Michael Geary's probably been their best so far.
Yeah, Geary's been good across the half-forward line. Just the middle of the ground's a big worry for me, from a Yinnar point of view. Foster get the ball across half-back, and how many times have they looked inboard and just found a bloke on his Pat Malone in the centre circle, and they just go through him, and then you're one kick away from putting it down Eddie or Best's throat, and that's real danger areas, I would have thought.
Real big danger areas. We can give them looks. If they're having their shots from 40 metres out directly in front, they're going to kick 9 out of 10, I reckon.
Yeah, and as the crowd meanders off the field, there's some, gee whiz, there's no Kerry Saxby's out there amongst this lot. There's some very slow walkers. Just looking in the middle of the ground there, as it's, it looks like, to my eye, it's JDV in there with Big Jesse Bow. And at ground level, it's
Nixon Hall.
And who's far side him? Is that Flynn Schill that's gone in there, or are they staying with Clancy Mills? Maybe even Blake Vandermeer.
Yeah, it looks like Blake Vandermeer. We've got Dill Williams and James Jacobson in front of us here on the coach's box wing.
And Norton Weston in there doing their thing for Foster with Angwin and
Tom Schneider.
Schneider in there, is it? Don't remember saying his name too often in the first term, so maybe they've got another gear to go to themselves here, Foster. We might just put the clock on here too while I think of it, because we've got no access to the scoreboard or the clock, and this could be useful information. It could actually be the best thing I've done today. So up we go. Bo wins it down. Weston tries to get his hands on it first. Tackle laid, and we'll have a secondary stoppage. Almost seems a theme in these games. We have that secondary stoppage. And up we go again. Bo gets it down. Hall runs onto it, gets a handball off there to Sheffers. His kick smothered straight off the boot. He goes back and gets it up again, gets around one, thumps it up to the half-forward line. Robertson beaten by Bentley, fist over the back. Ball comes down to be one at ground level over there to Wins where they sell the chips. And the boundary line wins the argument. Can you see anything different, Dirks, in the structures of either side?
I'd say Bailey Angwin forward on Tom Robbo, and Tom Robinson is a long way up the ground. So whether it's by design or, trying to change something, but Tom Robbo a lot further up the ground at the moment.
Just keep an eye on runner Sam Mills there, see where he goes for Yinnar, because they've obviously seen something they don't like as Foster win the stoppage and come up to half-forward. Best playing high, gets over the back of his head. They can't quite get it hands on it at ground level. Yes, they can. Hack kick from the boundary. Don't tell me. Well, that would have been the... well, we don't have it anymore, but it would have been a Yinnar Hotel goal of the day, that one, but it's only a minor score to Foster. So they add 1 point to their score, Sam, and Tom Robinson will do the kicking in. So he was all the way up the ground. And now he's out there at full back. He stops. He goes sideways, finds a teammate who wasn't 15 yards away. Bit of fancy footwork there from McCole. He then goes thump down the centre wing. Big Bow flies. Ball comes to ground. Jesse axes a rover now. He's the first one back there. Little kick off the ground. Comes inboard trying to find Schill. Can't do it. Over the boundary line. And we'll toss it in again. Would have been some sort of goal, that, Dirk. Someone have taken the roof off this joint, I reckon.
Yeah, I would have loved to see the celebration. You can kick an inside-out talk from 50 metres out in the final.
And it looks like Jacobson on Williams of Foster. So, potentially going a little bit more of a lockdown on some of those prime movers. Jesse Bow gives away a free kick, centre wing. Foster again, off to the races, Weston. Weston's wheels, he goes thump, he kicks it long into the forward 50, one-on-one, top of the square, Best beaten for it, but wins a free kick for being held on to, and not everyone's in favour of the decision. This down to our left, I don't think they're huge fans of that whistle there, Dirks.
Nah, it might have been the umpire a bit trigger happy that the big full forward didn't actually mark it, so something must have been done illegally.
And old Jakey Bass says, I'm too smart for you lot while you're all rabbiting on and talking smack and worried about the free kick. He just plays on and snaps it around the corner and says, that's number 2 for me. Number 5 for me side, and I'm pretty bloody happy with the way things sit. Score check, Sam.
Foster 5-2-32, Yinnar 1 goal, 7 points.
It's a pretty lonely place there. One-on-one with Brett Eddy, 20 metres out directly in front. It's a very lonely place to be.
So umpire Essler back in the middle. The Yinnar running working overtime here. You might want to pull a jumper on Sam and see if you can get out there and have some influence, because Foster again get their hands on the ball from the stoppage. Although it spills free to Vandermeer, he sends a hack kick forward. Foster just seemed to have the ball bouncing their way. Extra numbers at the contest, and now they win it here through the middle of the ground. They come out wide. Geary lays a tackle, gets broken. And now they're off again. They're out here. They go through the middle of the ground through Cripps. He goes up to half forward. No one at home. Eddie gets there now. He's got company for Chapman. He screws it round the corner. Top of the square job. Bounces. And Yinnar just see it through for a minor score. But it's all going one way and one way only here. Foster doing as they please.
Yinnar clear down the line. Find Ollie McCall here just on the half-back flank. Looks for a handball. Can't find one. Not much movement here. There's long down the line to Jesse Bow written all over it. And that's where it goes. It's come off the side of the boot, though. Flynn Shield could mark this. Foster just punch it out of bounds. Very flat-footed, no movement. We had to throw it in. Angus Norton is just walking to this stoppage unopposed, and I would have thought that shouldn't be happening. Ball tossed in. Bow, Flabble with the jump. With the reach, gets over the top. Weston again.
Free kick Vandermeer pushing the back.
Free kick Vandermeer. Umpire also saw something he didn't like.
I was there against Schneider.
Vandermeer looking for something just to get the ball moving for Yinnar. Long down the line, the order of the day. Up at 4 is Grinston Jones, the flyer. Comes down, Norton, Geary, long from 50, finds Pratt on his own, 30 metres out directly in front. You get the ball in the good kicker's hands, they will find the option.
There's the names that the Yinnar bench want to hear with their hands on the footy. They want to hear Grinstead Jones. They want to hear Geary. They want to hear Pratt. And you want Pratt having the shot at goal, because I'll go on record now and say he's the best shot for goal in the side. He just seems to find a way no matter where he is. And after the room service he just got there from Geary, he absolutely must go back and finish this. So when he comes from about 25 out directly in front, kick on its way, and it's a floater. It's a horrible sack. It's a Stephen Kernahan special, and it goes through for a minor score only, and that is not what Yinnar needed. They need to get a goal on the board and get some confidence about themselves.
Commentator's curse got you too, Scotty.
Oh, well, he should have just bloody kicked it, shouldn't he? They bring it back in and find Jack Rathjen on the half-back flank. He's looking to give a handball off. Now he goes short and wide. Bentley marks. Bentley off to the races. Comes up to half forward. Big long lead up there from Best. Best marks. Rolls. Reels. Has a bounce. 45 out hard up against the boundary. Doink. He's hit the post.
He had the celebration ready to go to the natives in the crowd too.
He would have found a gear and jumped the fence in and probably got his shirt off, I reckon, if that had gone through, and no one could blame him. 6 minutes into the second quarter. Score check, please, Sam.
5-3-33. No, 5-4-34. Foster. 1-2-8. Yinnar.
And Yinnar struggling to get it out of their defensive 50. They've turned it over. Shot on goal is good. And that's Jack Rathjen going bang. Score check again, please, Sam. And this is getting a real problem.
That now makes 6-4-39 to 1-2-8. So that's the result.
So Rathjen wins the footy after Yinnar can't get it out of the defensive 50 and kicks truly. Puts some serious separation on the scoreboard. And if they weren't panicking already, they're panicking now, Dirks.
Yeah, it's all starting to unravel here, but the joys of a double chance, but got to find a move now. Got to find gear. Ball in, Rathjen, Bow, up they fly. Actually, Bobby Linton in there now. Clearing goal from Foster. They get another inside 50. Ball's out wide. Clancy Mills and Lockie Rathjen right around. Grab a kick inside 50. Clancy Mills comes through to clean up for Yinnar. He's tackled, and it is holding the man. So Clancy Mills has it now in the back pocket. Looks to switch. Finds Chapman. Doesn't quite take the mark. He's fumbling around with it. Best comes with the pressure, and it's a turnover straight away. 40 metres out directly in front. Not the place to be turning the ball over.
Is that Rathjen with it again?
He's been everywhere. Number 30, Jack Rathjen.
So looking for 2 in 90 seconds. Looking for his side 7th. Yinnar can't get the ball north of the equator. And this is a big problem. This is a big, big problem. In he comes from about 45 out directly in front. Kick on its way. Not sure he's got all of that. It's going to land in the square. Mark not completed, but at ground level, Best wins it. Snap around the corner, taken on the goal line for Yinnar. They won't concede. They play on through the hands. Linton flicks around a handball there. They might have just been best to run that over the bloody goal line, I would have thought. Because the ball stays alive in that forward 50 area. And the umpire now comes in and says, give it to me, we'll ball it up. And just about the entire Yinnar side is in one half of the ground. They've all come down, full ground press on here. Ball goes up, ball comes down. No one can take it cleanly. Holding the ball paid. And the free kick will go Yinnar's way. In the back pocket. Looks like Flynn Schill will take it. And he's as far away from goal as you could possibly be without having to be on the other side of the fence. Robinson of the Will variety comes down to provide an option. The kick goes in that direction. Doesn't quite get there. Young Harvey Mackay gets up nice and high. Gets out the back of the contest. Robinson out the back if they can get the handball to him, which they do. He's besieged by opponents. Rhodes crashes in for Foster and wins it, and they just hack the ball back into the forward 50. Ball trickles out the back. One handball here, and they've got another shot on goal coming. They can't quite get that handball, but they kick to the hot spot. Goes right towards the teeth of goals. Bounces, out of bounds for a throw-in, far side of the ground. We've played 9.5 minutes here.
Key point here, contested possessions. Foster are behind.
Ball's going to be thrown back into play. In it comes. Foster win the tap. One at the ground level. Snap around the corner. And they've got another one. They've got another one.
I reckon that was Toner.
The little fella celebrates. We'll get the binoculars out and wait till he turns around. And the boys all get to him. If he turns around, we can let you know who it was.
Toner was my guess.
I think it might be Chaseling, mate. I think it's your man. Your man's kicked it and you haven't been able to see it. But it's a game, not been able to get the ball out of that defensive 50, and Chaseling takes advantage this time.
Weston to the wing, just come onto the ground. So that'll be a very quick swap into the midfield. Ball goes up. Bobby Linton and Rathjen again. Bobby Linton with a big punch forward, and someone's found a free kick. And I think Foster ran into the square too early, so free kick to Bobby Linton. Handballs to Sheffers. Sheffers runs himself into trouble. Kick smothered. Gets it again, though. Double possession. Geary takes the mark, 55 metres out from home. Been their only winner so far. Kicks long inside 50. Jacobson was behind, couldn't quite get there. Weston tries to soccer off the ground, missed it completely. Ball's forward. D'Avilio trying to barge his way through. Tackled, wrapped up. We'll get a stoppage. 30 metres out from Yinnar's goal. Deep in the pocket at Tarwin. They need to convert from this. Pratt rucking, unopposed. Hits it down. Handball out. Foster should clear. Clancy Mills went nearly a throw, I reckon. The umpire has paid the one-handed handball as a throw.
Weston takes full advantage of the free kick, plays on straight away and goes bang. And it goes 55 on the fly. Best gets Stolk out of the way. Turns into trouble, wrapped up in a big tackle. And umpire Essler says, holding the rock. And the free kick will go the way of Yinnar on the half-back flank. It might have been Harry McCall, the second man into the tackle, who gets a free kick. And he comes through the middle of the ground with a short one. Finds a teammate. Handball off there to Mills. Mills goes to half forward. Look out. Stay under that and be strong. They were. But Foster win at the ground level. And they're off to the races, far side of the ground. This ball stays in. Big trouble in Little China. Yinnar win at ground level. A good handball into a little bit of space. Another one. And they can get a shoe on this. They could be away. They can't, though, and the ball just dribbles forward, and Foster cut it off and reset up behind the footy as they've done all day. And there's those numbers through the middle of the ground. They literally had two blokes there that could take it. Weston still on his own, takes the ball 75 from goal. Plays on. Mills puts him in a tackle. Pops a handball over the top to no one in particular. Going in again at the ground level. Yinnar try and win it. They can't keep the ball in tight, though. Anglin does get it and goes up to the hot spot. Bobby Linton stays underneath it and takes the mark. And Yinnar finally get their hands on a bit of clear possession. Can take a breath and hopefully find a target or two by foot here, Dirks.
Tom Robertson clears from 50. Kicks along to Geary. Been their only winner today. Great punch there. Norton coming in here to impact on Flintshire. Great contest in the middle. Halved it. Clancy and Mills looking to find this footy. Jack Weston goes in as well for it. Clancy Mills bowling around here on the wing in front of us. Drop the footy out there. Ball comes out to Weston. Quick hands. Away they go. Rafton. Ooh. Went to spin. Found Weston. Get it to the good user's hands. In he goes. Tom Robbo clears it up. Handballs to Flintshire. Flintshire on the bounce. Posed. Finds Bobby Linton. Now to Walsh. Walsh kicks along to Pratt. Great hands from Pratt in the centre of the ground. A long way from where want him to be. Finds Vandermeer. Vandermeer goes along. They find a mark with Nixon Hall. 30 metres out.
Yeah, Nixon pushed forward when Kane Grinstead Jones came off. Just giving their forward line a little bit of a different look. It's worked so far. He's just got to do the hard part now. Go back and put this one through the big sticks from about 35 out. 45-degree angle. If ever a side needed a goal in a final. In he comes. Kick on its way. Goal umpire. It's not going to get the distance. Not going to get the distance. Ball punched back into play initially. Held without it, Yinnar, surely. No?
Other way, yeah.
Other way, was it?
Yep.
Yinnar doing the holding. And what do you know? Foster will take the free kick in the back pocket and just calm things down again.
Plenty of free kicks today, I reckon, so far.
We've played 15-odd minutes here into the second term. Big, long clearing kick. Mark taken out there beautifully by Callcott. Dishes off the handball to the drive-by. Intercept by McCall in the centre of the ground. Yinnar need to make something of this opportunity. They've got to win at the ground level first, and they can't. They can't, and the ball will be balled up just on the side favouring the Foster scoring end. As it stands, Jesse Bowe gets a tap. Norton wins the clearance with a fancy pants kick around the corner, but it's cut off by Harry McCall down there at half back. And Yinnar still can't find a clean possession when they get into a little bit of space, and they've turned it over again. And Best takes the mark, and there's nothing Mark Stoll can do about that when you turn the ball over with ordinary exits like that.
It was just Chapman being lazy there. One-step kick and hit the ground with his shoe and just ricocheted. And sure enough, Chapman's opponent was 20 metres out all by himself.
Rightio, you backing him here, Dirks?
Oh, he's already kicked it, so yes.
Fair. Absolutely fair. He's having a bit of a day out here, the coach, Shaky Best. He's had plenty of it down there, but he's had plenty of opportunity too. As Yinnar look to change that forward line up again, Pratt comes off, Grinstead Jones goes on, and it's Norton off and Callcott on for Foster.
7-5-47 Foster, and Yinnar are still stuck on 1-2-8.
Away we go. Bowe in the midfield. Wins it down. Bubbling around inside the centre square here, and we should have a secondary ball up. Villio collapses on top of the pack and says we'll have another bounce.
So the ball's moved laterally only, a little bit closer to that Australian flag. Bowe tapped down to no one in particular. Ball there to be won at ground level. Umpire's found a free kick going to go Yinnar's way. So they'll take the free kick just on the defensive side of centre, and they come laterally. Looks for Robertson, but it's cut off by McCall. They go through the hands. Maybe one handball too many there, although Big Bowe, the big ruckman, gets down there and picks it up pretty handy below his knees. Comes back to Sheffers. He hoiks it into the forward 50, but it's cut off with a smother. Foster 5v1 at ground level. McCall does well to win it, although he turns it over via the hands. He just had to because of the weight of numbers. And it's Foster off to the races here again. Best into the pocket. Dives. Can't complete the mark, but the umpire's found a free kick for a push in the back. You can
make of that what you will.
Make your own assessment of that one if you've got the chance to have a look at it. But gee whiz, we nonetheless, Best ball in hand. He's hard up against the boundary, But he's got an audience, and I've got a funny feeling he doesn't mind an audience. And if he manages to boonana this through the big sticks, there'll be a little bit of celebration going for sure, I would have thought, Dirks.
He's kicking them well today.
Is he what? So from 30 or so out, he goes to boonana. He gets into celebration mode. He leans back on it with both arms in the air. He says, have a look what I can do. And goes bang. That is some sort of finish from the big man.
Good goal.
Scores 8-5-53 Foster, Yinnar 1-2-8. And the most compelling statistic is that Foster's had less contested possessions, but they've been more efficient with them.
Well, they've had the ball a lot, I reckon.
So we've got the ball back in the middle of the ground.
Yinnar might need the next one.
They might need the next 4. How's me at the start of the game saying anyone who tips a margin of more than 3 or 4 goals is MAD mad. Foster got this wrapped up at half-time, the way things are going. So the ball goes up, Bo goes above, gets a tap backwards, but they win it again at the coalface. Foster kicked the ball high into the forward 50. Numbers favour Yinnar initially. They go backwards via hands. That's a dangerous kick. He bites off plenty. Can't find the target on the full ball there, won by Yinnar, though. They come back in and still can't find a target. They turn it over again. Some fancy footwork. Ball ends up with Best. He tries to burst through a tackle and is ripped to the deck. And Tom Robbo gets up and says, thank Christ for that. We'll take the footy. So Yinnar through McCall now. He laces out a pass, looking for Mackay. Perfectly weighted, beautiful kick. Young H-Mac marks on the halfback flank. Vandermeer presents through the middle. He goes to Geary instead. Geary a bit of a shove, and the umpire says, I'm okay with that in front of Tona. So Geary gets onto the right leg, thumps it in. Bentley gets back and says, thanks for the footy. I don't mind if I do. And he says, this is how you do it. Bang, goes wide. Mark dropped, though, by Foster. They still win on the halfback flank. They got numbers out wide. That's where the kick goes. You think the boundary line might win the argument, and it does. And they're just making it look too bloody easy at the moment, Dirks.
Certainly are. Everything Foster do looks easy. Everything Yinnar does looks very hard.
Under duress and pressure. And the umpire will toss this one back into play, far side of the ground. Jesse gets a hand to it. Shill with the intended recipient. They can't win it. Foster can. Snap around the corner.
Got it again.
Deary me. Paid the mark. Don't know that necessarily the Yinnar boys agreed that they got first hand to it. That'll be Eddie this time, is it?
Yeah.
The white boots rather than the pink ones.
Yep. White equals Eddie, I think.
Yeah, so Brett Eddie now will go back. Not quite as hard up against the boundary as the coach was, so he'll be able to go drop punt from here. And I doubt the celebration will be quite as good either, but we'll have a look and see what he's got to offer. Drop punt on its way. Goal umpire moves only a little bit, but she says minor score. Adds 1 to the scoreboard, and Yinnar will have to try and kick this one back in, which they've struggled to do the last few times they've had the chance.
I made a mistake earlier. It's now 9-6-60 to 1-2-8. I've miscalculated goal.
Yinnar unhappy with you, Sam. McCall brings it in. Goes bottom side to the change room end. Kicks long down the wing. Foster create the contest. They run it out with hands now. Rafton goes forward to the big boys. Here they come. Great punch from Stolk. Crummers are there for Foster. Ball goes out of bounds. Just can't get it over halfway at the moment, Yinnar.
They've tried a few things. They've rotated around. They've changed that forward structure, but they just can't find a winner at half forward, which is where they're falling down. But this is at the other end of the ground as it's been for most of the day. Foster get the clearance out the back. Yinnar now through Mills. Flicks a handball over the top. A little bit of a tap on there towards Mackay. Jack Weston just says, I want the footy, and barges through 6 or 7. Leaves it for a teammate who goes up and down the chimney. Best comes out and tries to put the pressure on, but Yinnar mark. And they switch the play to where Dirks can see it, and I can't.
Chapman switches the footy to Stolk. Nearly misses the handball. Bobby Linton now. Handball through. McCall mucking around with it now. Walsh, Mills. Ooh, just got a handball to that. Ball comes through. Weston barges through. Didn't quite get there. DeVillio comes through. Handball to a Foster player for some reason. I don't know why he did that. And we'll have a ball up just in front of the Yinnar bench.
You've seen a few different jumpers in the last few years, JDV, so maybe you got confused, Dirks.
I don't think anyone in the league has more club polos than DV in their wardrobe.
So up she goes. Bo gets a clear tap on it, aimed for Grinstead Jones, but picked up there by Foster through the conveyance of Harry Flavel. Kicks it into the dangerous hot spot. Ball to be won at ground level. Yinnar with the numbers there do win. The kick goes up. I can't find a target with these release kicks. They can steady through hands here, although Norton puts Mills under all sorts of pressure with a big tackle. Two of the littlest blokes out there, but two of the toughest blokes out there you'd find. And the umpire will trot on in and throw it up. And Jesse Bow runs the best part of 100 metres with his hand in the air to get there to do the ruck work. Unsurprisingly, gets beaten because he's knackered when he got there. Foster, a bit of aerial ping-pong, punched the ball into their forward 50. And it'll go out of bounds about 30 around from their goal. It's been all them this quarter. It's been 22 minutes of just about the Foster Footy Club, unfortunately. Skipper waiting to get back on the ground and get out there and ignite the side. Bo reaches over the top, gets a hand to it, but the ball just keeps trickling away from the Yinnar boys.
I think Steve's found one here.
At ground level, but they do win a free kick. So they'll win a free kick. This is where they just need to find a target or two and hold on to the footy. Harvey Mackay makes a long, long lead, but he can't quite kick it that far. They do find a winner in front of the ball. Now they can go short to Mackay. That's ignored. Weston now pushes back and gets in Vandermeer's way. Mackay gets there at ground level. Wrapped up in a tackle, goes back to JDV via the hands. He puts the pressure on. Picked up down there at ground level. Mackay goes thump, puts it down the line. Vandermeer gets a mark. Right in front of the Yinnar coach's box. Look further upfield. Pratt's got to present here. Nixon Hall puts a short option on. That's ignored. Grinstead Jones puts a short option on. That's ignored. 50 paid.
There's been many.
That's the first one for today.
Definitely isn't.
Definitely the second. So Vandermeer now, 60 from home, gets told to play on. Kicks the ball into the pocket. The big boys set themselves. It's all Foster at ground level as well as up in the air. And they just win it too bloody easily. And they just go back into their own defensive goal square and hold on to the footy. With a couple of minutes to play here in the first half.
That Yinnar iPad on the bench must be blowing up red, I reckon.
Norton now, he comes forward and finds a teammate. And that's just been the story of the day. Finds a teammate. Their ball use has been better. Their ball use has been cleaner. They now go through hands. Rathjen, he's been awesome. He kicks to the advantage of a teammate who marks. Weston on the drive-by. Ignore that at your peril. He does. Angwin rolls, goes to the one-on-one in front of the footy. And if you can kick like that, you may as well go and kick the footy yourself and not bother with Jack Weston because the mark's taken by Brett Eddy in the forward pocket. 45-degree angle, about 25 out. And he'll go back and have another shot on goal. As Rhodes comes back into play for the last 100 seconds or so in the defensive area for Foster. Eddie comes in. 45-degree angle. Genuinely shell and peas for the superstar at this point in time. Another one on the board. Sam, you've got to add 1 to one column and 6 to another column, and you can tell the people all the magic numbers.
Does he have more than Yinnar yet?
Yeah. He's kicked their score plus. All right, so just before we get to the conclusion of the first half, that's 25 inside 50s Foster to 13 to Yinnar. So that paints the picture of the story, I believe.
Score would be useful.
Oh, yes, the score is 10-6-66 to 128 Yinnar.
Righto, Dirk, you can have the fun part of the second term.
Away we go. Umpire throws it up. Bowen Rathjen, up they fly. Bo wins it again. Norton comes through, the man in the lid. Rathjen comes through. The other Rathjen kicks it forward, kick smothered. Punch forward. Bubbling around up there. Clancy Mills gets the ball. No one to handball. Finds Jacobson out the side. Just dropped that footy. Umpire said fell out in the tackle. Schneider tackled. And he's going to be pinged. So, could they get something here to take into half time? Harvey McKay has the footy. Looks long. Goes long. Will Robertson will fly. Big pack forms. Ball bounces to no one. Bubbling around. Flynn Shield, ducks, weaves, can't find anything. Snap round the body. Grinstead Jones found it. 47 metres out. Plays on. Finds Will Robbo. Can't find him. And he's paid the mark to Foster in the back line. The man in the man bun. They go for broke, or do they shut it down for the half? Straight up the guts he goes. Finds a man in the middle. Tom Schneider here has the footy. Comes inboard. Up to Lockie Rafton. So many Raftons out there. You might think I've been calling just Rafton all day. Holds the footy. Jack Weston is running around with no one at the moment. Ball goes wide. Have it. Foster have it on the wide half line. The man in the lid takes it 40 metres out with no one on him up on the boundary line. I reckon it's going to be after the siren. What a guess. The man in the lid.
No way.
No.
Too far out, surely.
Can his little legs pump this ball 50 metres on the siren? Goes a torp and it bananas out of bounds on the full. And that will do us for half-time.
It certainly will. And just before we go back to the studio for a few sponsors' messages, Sam, you got the final half-time score for us, if you could, please.
It's 10-6, 66, Yinnar 1-8.
So 66 plays 8, second half all to come. It's all in front of Yinnar to do now. What do you do here, Dirks? You try and get some respectability back? Do you try and convince yourself you can win the game, or do you just hang the bloody cue back in the rack and worry about next week?
You got to try and go for broke. Got to try and win. Minimise the damage and minimise your damage in the third and leave yourself with a chance in the last.
Rightio, let's hope you're right, because we're going to see some entertaining football if that's the case. So we'll be back here in about 10 or 11 minutes' time to the Tarwin Rec Reserve, where it's Foster leading very, very convincingly over Yinnar. And welcome back to the Tarwin Rec Reserve where, well, I think it's a bit of a mood of shock, Dirks, to be honest. I don't think, I think people were probably evenly split on who was going to win the game, but I'm not sure anyone had a side up by 10 goals at half time.
Nah, you couldn't have scripted this 2 hours ago when you drove into the ground.
It's quite the bizarre occurrence, but nonetheless, that's what we deal with as it presently stands. And a lot of people listening in out there in Liston Land and online. I know the Thorpe Pub boys are there and they've got their coverage on. So's the Yinnar Hotel, who, of course, sponsors here at Gippsland FM, and we thank them very much for their sponsorship and support throughout the year. And the Ballara president is on his way back from Windy Hill, where he's just enjoyed the Bombers VFL side winning an elimination final. So you imagine the lid would be off there for Shizza. The Bombers don't win finals very well. He might not actually know how to celebrate a finals win for an Essendon supporter.
Or just winning it all.
Well, be fair. But no, that's how it is, Sam. You're going to have all the facts and figures and be able to tell us why Foster are up by nearly 10 goals at the main break.
Well, the even score is that both teams have got 24 tackles, but that's where the record starts to change. They've had 3 inside centre clearances each. Inside 50s, Yinnar 14, 43 contested, 45 uncontested. They've had 15 free kicks, whereas Foster have had 27 inside 50s, 52 contested, 42 uncontested, and 12 free kicks received. So that would explain why the score is 10-6-66 as to Yinnar 1-1-7.
Yeah, the inside 50 count there is of particular interest to me. I just felt like the ball lived in the Foster front half for most of that second quarter in particular, Dirks.
Yeah, the ball just seemed to be at one end of the ground, and when Yinnar went forward, it seemed to just ping-pong straight back down the other end.
And their inability to clear the ball from their defensive 50 would be a big worry for Yinnar. We've lauded them across the course of the year for their ability to turn defence into attack, the likes of McCall, Robertson, Walsh, Chapman, all good ball users as a rule. The number of times they've turned the ball over in their defensive 50 and led the scores this year, there's probably been more today than there has for the entire season put together.
Yeah, just basic errors, but the joys of finals pressure and finals football. Good teams will put you under the pump.
Yeah, I mean, finals football's one thing, but guys just making rudimental mistakes. See, there's not a guy out there in a black and white jumper that hasn't played finals, so, I just wonder what's afflicted them all on the collective. At one time to all put up a stinker for a half. But that's only a half. There's another half of footy to go. If they happen to win this quarter by 3 or 4 goals and give themselves a flukish chance in the last quarter, we might have ourselves a grandstand finish yet. But they're going to have to turn a lot around. The defensive 50 clearance work's going to have to get better. And when they get the ball forward into their 50, they've got to find a winner who can take some grabs.
Certainly do. They need a winner up forward. Michael Geary is a one-man wrecking man up forward. He's their only winner forward of centre, I think, and after that, I think their next best maybe Clancy Mills, clutching at straws to find many more after that. And
just wonder if they can do something structurally. Is it time to throw Harry McCall in front of the footy? Do you try? Walsh has been pretty quiet. You throw him up as a small forward and put Gears down in the middle of the ground and try Walsh around the goals. To me, you've got to try something. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You finish second on the ladder because you're a good footy side, but structurally, I think something's got to give. You can't keep kicking the ball into your half-forward line and watching it bounce back over your head.
Yeah, Grinston Jones as well, probably one now to get a middle. Could he go in the midfield for 5 minutes and just wrecking ball for 5 minutes?
100% he could, and he's done it a couple of times this year. He's another option to get in there. But when they spread the footy, he's not keeping up with a Norton or a Weston or any of those guys. And just on Weston, I reckon he's just playing with a slightly angry edge to him today. He's just found him just a little bit sort of... He's a gun. He's one of the best players in the comp, if not. But just today I found him actually seeking a bit of physical contact and really making sure that people know he's around. I just wonder if that's a bit of a ruthless finals edge he's bringing to his game.
Must have heard someone say he wasn't the best kick in the comp last Sunday.
Well, that was you, not me. I'm quite happy to go with him, and you can go with your man, Shannon. Put it this way, it's not a bad toss to lose if one of them had to kick for your life. But, they're both very good at distributing the TW Sharon by shoe. But we're nearly back underway here. A couple of minutes to go. The side's just going through their on-ground warm-ups. And I'll be fascinated to see, Sam. You've got the matchups from the start of the game. You keep your eye on those and just reassess them and see if anything does change. I don't know that the Yinnar's defence can do much more than they've done against Eddie and Best. They've been competitive, but it's just been inundated with supply.
Some things are just undefendable, as they say.
The ball comes in that many times, they're going to kick it.
Back on to your point about Grinstead going into the middle, wasn't it? It was when they played at Yinnar, and when the heat was needed to be pressured on, so he's put Grinstead in, and his body size and his footy smarts was actually winning some control out of the centre square clearances.
I just wonder if that might have been Grinstead putting himself in there at that point in time rather than it coming from the coach. And that's the kind of leadership that Sam would love, someone to go in there and try and assert themselves. And just looking in the middle of the ground now, Dirks, is that a bald head in amongst there with Jesse Bowe?
Yeah, I think that is Michael Geary going into the engine room. But I just saw Lockie Pratt come to the bench. I would have thought your big full forward that's third in the goals for the league. I thought I would have started him to start the second half.
Yeah, and up in front of the footy, any changes we can see there?
Not seeing much up front. Will Robbo deep, Grinstead Jones deep.
Find Harry McCall for me.
Harry McCall is going forward.
Hello. Someone might be able to coach here, Dirks.
Coach Scotty, off he goes.
Is Snyder going to Geary in the centre square?
I doubt it'll be a tag. They might play on each other, but I don't think Foster or too worried about anyone in the black and white jumper at the minute. Let's see how that plays out as Geary gets his hands on the footy for the first clearance. Good coaching. Kicks the ball into the forward half. Robinson can't complete the mark. He's had his hands on it a few times. He goes back in, cracks in for a second effort, and then dumped in a tackle by Weston. That hard edge from Weston turfed the big fella on the ground, and he's won the free kick on the half-back flank.
Away he goes. Runs away from us on half-back. Takes a bounce. Sells he can. He goes by hand now. The man in the man bun. Kicks long. Robinson and reckon that is Ravel. Ravel goes along. Into the big boys. Here they come. By himself. Didn't pay the mark or the free kick. Ball's flopping around up there. Yinnar looking to clear. Stolk looks for an option. Comes wide. One-on-one. Bentley. I reckon Bentley's just given away the free kick there on Walsh. He certainly has. Walsh now just in front of us. Not much movement.
So Walsh with the hands on the footy. Little one down the line. Mark taken. Handball given to Mackay on the drive-by. He gets it into the forward 50. No, he goes to the hands to Di Viglio. It does get in the forward 50. A little hack kick off the ground, but Foster will settle things down and just hack the ball long down the line. Mark taken. Handball given. Dylan Williams, the skipper, gets it over the top there to Rathjen. Rathjen has a bounce, draws Jesse Bowe, gets around him, draws Clancy Mills, flicks a handball over the top. They're off to the races here through Rathjen. He goes to the top of the square, turned it over. Mark taken by Tom Robbo.
By himself for 2 minutes there, Tom Robbo. He laced him perfectly.
Early change for Yinnar, Dirks.
Yeah, Sheffer's off. Don't know what for, though.
Just watch the gate on him as he runs on by as Yinnar get the ball in the middle of the ground. Turn it over in the dangerous centre circle, though. Foster, ball in hand. Goes along on the right leg, out wide, way too wide. Sets up there in front of Toner. He can't get there. Boundary line can, and will ball it in. Over where they sell the hot chips. How were the chips, Sam? You get a serve in?
Yeah, very good. And Grinstead Jones is being held, accompanied by Aaron Rhodes.
So ball thrown back into play. Bowe gets a tap down, feigns a handball, and then kicks it to Jack Weston. Probably not what you want to do, and Weston just turns the Jets on, gives, goes. He wanted it back, but it's ended up in the hands of Norton. Not a bad plan B. His kick finds a target, and right in front of the chip stand, they've got the footy. Jesse Bowe gets back and fills a big hole in front of Brett Eddy. Foster boys set up across the ground and say, come to us through the middle if you like, and he says, no, I'm going to kick it where the champ is. And they kick it where the champ is.
And he marks it.
And the champ catches it. The champ catches it, 45 out, 45-degree angle. They lead by the best part of 10 goals, and Eddie will go back. And this is where he only just got the distance earlier from Dirk, so we'll see whether or not he goes quite as high this time or whether he clubs it a little bit lower.
Well, what club do you reckon he's pulling out of the kit bag?
Oh.
Is it a driver or a 3-wood?
For me, I'd be laying up with a wedge and then having a 5-iron. For him, it's probably a 3-iron. So in he comes from 45. Kick on its way to kill the contest. Skinny side minus score. Contest still probably killed, to be honest, but Yinnar have shown a little bit of vigour in the first couple of minutes of this quarter. They bring the ball in short, find an option. Walsh leads. That's ignored. Big Jesse Bowe's got his hands in the air, but they've gone across the field back to Tom Robinson. Marks on the opposite side of the ground. And then comes straight up the middle, bang, finds Skinner. Hits Skinner right in the breadbasket. He gets onto the trusty left leg, laces out a pass. That's what we want to see. McCall in front of the footy, gearing up around the middle, kicks it into the half-forward line. Robertson being held on to, can't get there. Mackay can, flicks a handball over the top of his bonce. Umpire says you didn't get a fist to it, dropping the rock. And the free kick's going to go to Foster. Half-back flank might have been against Vandermeer, actually, rather than Mackay. The 1 and the 7 look very similar with my blurry eyes.
I reckon this is Schneider. Schneider on the half-back flank. Kicks up the line. Finds his target. In front of that Australian flag again. The ball's been there a long time. Foster looked to come inside again. Finds Josh Toner. Toner just on centre wing. Kicks a chiselling ball up the line. I reckon that's going to be a free kick to Weston. I didn't believe he dropped the mark. Weston has the footy in front of the change rooms. Wheels and goes. 3 guesses where this is going. Handballs. Makes him kicked inside 50. Snap around the body. Do a bit of chaos. That is a snap on goal. Touched off the boot or all clear. It's going to be all clear. Great coming goal. See who this is when he turns around. He's looking at the bench saying, do I have to come off because I kicked a goal? No, you can stay on. That is the captain, Dylan Williams. The captain's goal, if you can say such a thing when you're 11 goals up, Sam.
Yes, that's correct. And so far, 6 inside 50s Foster, Yinnar are 2. And what's the time on the clock?
And he makes a fool out of me, Dylan Williams. He kicked a goal, looked at the bench, said, I'm not coming off. And then they said, no, you can come off. So he's come off.
Score, Sam?
Score is 11, 7, 73. Yinnar, 1 goal, 1-2.
Middle of the ground we go again. Foster, they go again. Norton kicks it higher, Waffer. Ball bounces just outside 50, pitches inside 50. Chapman wraps up Eddie in a tackle, and the umpire's going to say you slung him to the ground. That's never the intention of the sling tackle rule, I wouldn't have thought. But nonetheless, he's out there and I'm over here. He has the whistle and I have the microphone.
Big effort to get Eddie down.
Eddie kicks towards Best. Best sneaks around Stolk, wins the footy at ground level, snaps. That's fair dinkum going higher than it's gone longer.
Bailey Angwin, your man.
Angwin takes a mark in the forward pocket, though. I can't see him, so I can't celebrate, and you'll have to call the goal.
Bailey Angwin just read the flight at the drop of the ball better than Tom Robbo there. Bailey Angwin, number 11. Lining up in the right forward pocket. Sheffer's about to come back on for James Jacobson. Bailey Angwin ambles in, strolls in, and kicks it straight across the face of goal, and he's just snuck it in for a point. Tom Robbo is running to get this kick in. Yes, he is. Pratt back on for Grinstead Jones. You think you need both of them out there?
Need 4 of them out there.
Robinson ambles out of the square. Looks long. Kicks a dart. Turnover. Missed Geary. It's going to come back in with interest, I reckon. Good spoil by Robinson. Butted up his mess. Lays the tackle. We'll get a stoppage at Foster's 50. 35 metres out.
So big Jesse Bowe gets down there to do the ruck work. And he wins a decent sort of tap, but it's only going to go as far as Norton. Norton's got 1 back for the handball in Banbury. Banbury just pops it into the pocket. Mark taken. You're not kicking a goal from there. Get it to the top of the square.
Tommy Schneider.
Get it to the top of the square. Lead comes at him. That's just as good. Best marks. And he'll go back and have yet another shot on goal. He kicked the banana at the other end. This one will have to be a snap around the corner, you would suggest. Or a really long drop punt from up against the boundary line. What do you reckon, Dirks? The play on and snap?
Play on, snap, turn around, give it to the crowd. Bit of me.
And I see McCall coming down from the offensive area to fill a hole. As Best goes back, looking to put his side the best part of 12 goals in front for a ticket to the grand final. Kick on its way.
Didn't like it.
He didn't celebrate anywhere near enough, and Stolke clapped his hands a lot.
Out in the full.
And, he's missed the whole 21 yards. So free kick, Yinnar. Or is it a score?
Nah, looking like...
We've lost the footy.
Tom Robbo's just retrieved it now from over the net, and...
No, out in the full. So, Robbo, do something exciting here, mate. Put it on your arm and take off. Give us a little bit of life. That's pretty exciting. Comes laterally, finds Walsh. Marks halfback flank. Lead comes from Mackay. Chisels the ball through there. Mackay can't complete the grab. Goes back in through Schill and Sheffers. A couple of hard nuts going at it in there. Norton gets his hands on it. They worry him out of it just ever so slightly. Ball into the forward 50. Robertson position A. Pratt position B. Neither of them able to complete the mark for Yinnar. Tony gets a little shoe on it. Gets it almost out of trouble. Pratt goes in again. Gets thrown off the footy. And as they've done all damn day, Foster winning across half back. Steady as you like. Kick down the line. Finds a teammate far side wing. Vandermeer on for Bo for Yinnar.
Not quite like for like, is it?
No, it's half a half. Little kick to the lead down there, and that's just getting a little bit too easy. It's getting a little bit too easy. They come back through the middle of the ground, getting a hand on it there, the Yinnar defence, but it's still got to be one at ground level. It is a quick handball, and the lead comes from Chapman v Western.
Not the matchup you want.
Chapman wins it at ground level. Good work there by Chapo. The left-handed handball goes back to Walsh. He puts a block on, gets Weston off Walsh. His kick goes down the line. DeViglio offers a bit of body but can't impact the marking contest.
Schneider.
Mark taken by Schneider. Weston coming off now. Did you see what he did with his hands there, Dirks?
No, I didn't know. I reckon one just jammed into the jumper. On for the captain.
Just
yeah, he just wants a rub. He just indicated to the bench. Just
okay.
rub my legs. They've been doing a lot.
I'd just be putting him in cotton wool right about now and saying, sit down and help yourself to a pipe. Cup of tea. Foster now get the ball into that forward 50 area again. You know, advantage by numbers. They win at the ground level through Chapman. He's come further up the ground this quarter and been impactful. Robertson again at half forward gets both hands to the footy, can't complete the mark. Schill lays a big tackle.
You'd be running some gecko grip out to Will Robinson, wouldn't you? Bit of belt grip or something.
Whatever it takes. He gets the hands to it today and they don't stick. Any other day, he'd probably have 6 marks by now. So far wing, Geary circles underneath Linton. Neither ruckman able to get their hands on it. Ball comes to ground. Umpire says, give it back. Let's have another crack. We'll have another swing at things here. So we hit halfway through the third quarter. And it's Foster by 12 goals. Don't adjust your TV set. It is just me. And they win the ball at ground level again through Norton. And he says that was a little Chuck Norris. Now the throw was against Yinnar. And Foster get the advantage. An advantage it is. Ball lands just in front of Eddie. Can't take it cleanly. McCall down there wins a handball to Linton. Linton then looks upfield, comes back inside towards Geary. Intercepted there by Banbury. Now Mills at ground level gets it. Blasted into the forward 50. Pratt gets his opponent under the footy. Doubles back. Picks the footy up. Oh, and if you saw the tackle the Carlton player laid last week in the square, you saw what just happened there. Pratt running into the open goal. Stumbled. Tackled. Turned it over. Foster footy. Story of the day, bang, right there. So Foster now come back to the halfback flank where they just maintain possession. Toner leads. That's honoured. He gets there and takes it with 2 Dukes. He's got a wide option here in Banbury. Comes out in that direction. Mark taken there by Ray. Ray goes down the line. Finds a teammate there in Colcott. Ollie C, he goes a little chip kick, and they're off through the middle here. And there's another one out wide. If he spins, get it out there, they do. He's in all sorts of space on his own, eyes down, laces out the full forward. Great defensive work down there by Robbo, gets the ball away from Eddie, and that's a huge win for Yinnar. Any other day, that's a shot on goal. Robbo does real well, but the ball's still at the wrong end for the Black and Whites.
Throw it in Foster's forward pocket here. The big boys come in. Schneider coming into this stoppage. Eddie and Bo. Eddie, backhand Panther over the top. DeVilio grabs it. Handballs. Clearing kick. Finds Flynn Schill. Flynn Schill ducks, dives. Handballs away to DeVilio. DeVilio kicks long down the line. And he's got one. Will Robbo's got one. Takes the mark. Just absolutely bites off a 40-metre ball inside 50. That's nearly a block. Ball ping-ponging around in the middle. Clancy Mills can't find it. Harvey McKay does. Kicks long down the line. It's 4-on-1. Pratt pushes out. Foster looking to clear. Blake Vandermeer with the soccer. Didn't get the free kick. Ball comes through. Foster clear. The one option to go to. And they find it. And it is Tom Littmore has the footy in the back pocket for Foster. Looking and assessing his options. Just long down the line. Looking for the captain. Can't find it. Stolk. Here's Walsh. Walsh runs away from us. Kicks a left foot ball. Turns it straight back over. Tom Schneider has the footy again. He's had it a lot today. Down the line. They're queuing up now in the middle. Here they go. Rafton finds the footy. Had men on if he went, but he didn't. Chapman is manning up grass 40 metres away. That's why he can't go quick. There is no one within 50 metres of Chappie. Finds the coach Best. Best in front of the Yinnar coach's box.
Not bad when Best and Weston are both on the bench.
Best kicks long, straight to where Chappie is. Brett Eddy with the clearance. What have we found? Umpire has pinned something. And that Foster bloke will be very angry with that umpire. Then he was running into open goal, no one within him or the goals. But he didn't pay the advantage for some reason. Said, nah, give it back to Brett Eddy and let him kick it from 55. I know you were running an open goal, 20 metres out, but let the big boy have the goal.
I want to see him go a torp here.
Could put this through post high, I reckon.
Go a torp. He's got to kick at 55. Big Jesse Bowe's back there. Bobby Linton's back there. He's going to have to go a torp. He can't kick a drop punt that far, surely. Let's find out. Bang. You can't kick a drop punt that far, surely. And he can't. But it can be grabbed at the top of the goal square and blazed away.
For a point.
Shot missed. Shot missed. Another point on the scoreboard, though, for Foster. Sam, score update if you could, please.
11-9-75. Foster 1-1-2. 1-1-7.
So Yinnar get the ball out far side of the ground, gets up as far as the wing, and that's where they're falling down all day. And Foster win it, hack it back to their half-forward line, but Yinnar have the numbers behind the footy. Now comes forward, and the umpire's blown the whistle. It might have gone out of bounds down there, I think. Yeah,
yep,
it has.
Out of bounds.
Not bad spotting by me. I can't see the TV from the lounge chair, but I've just seen the footy 150 metres away go over the white line. And we'll ball it in front of where they sell the hot dogs.
They were good too.
Didn't get one. Boss wouldn't stop. Norton wrapped up in a tackle and dropped the rock. And free kick will go to Linton. Walshy calls for it wide. Kick it to Walshy. They scream. They don't do that. They go to Robertson instead. He takes a mark and then hits the ground running, and off he goes. Gets a kick up the half-forward line. Finally a mark at half-forward taken. Handball given off to Walsh. Walsh finds Robertson, and Robertson marks 48 metres out on the slightest of angles. 2 marks in a row. It might sound a bit like being a smarty pants here, but he's got his hands on the footy a lot today. Taken a couple in a row. Might just give him that little spark of confidence he needs. And if he can put this one through the big sticks, it's all academic in terms of today's outcome, but just a little bit of how you're going towards the back end of the game and a bit of positivity for next week. The kick's huge, but it's not straight. Minor score only. That'll be their first score in quite some time, Dirks.
Yeah, I don't reckon they scored in the second quarter. Could be wrong.
Foster, if they had some kick-in strategies that we're going to go to school on today is not the day to watch them because we've seen them kick in twice. And there's plenty of pointing going on. They just go short pocket, and they kick in the pocket where no one can see. They've got the footy in their hands still, though, and that's all they care about. Norton offers up a little lead. That's ignored. The kick comes longer than that. Looks for Eddie. Big Jesse Bowe goes up. Can't complete it out the back. Chapman's back there first. Spikes the ball back to Bowe. Gets through him. Norton gets it. Schill gets into him. Schill wins it up towards Sheffers. He goes in hard. There's Shilly. And he's won the free kick for high contact. He's had a red-hot crack there and got the free kick he deserved.
Gears got it.
Although Gears got it for off the ball. Interesting that, because Shelley was at the bottom of the pack busting his chops. So Geary now brings the kick in, Dirks.
He does indeed. Goes long to the pocket. Intercept mark, dropped. Foster looking to clear. Take the repeat stoppage. Yes, they do. So they'll have a ball up. 40 metres out from Yinnar's goal. Pratt against Rafton. No one touches it. Ball comes down. I reckon we're going to do it all over again. Nominate, boys. Put your hands up. Pratt does exactly that. Ball goes up. Pratt wins it down. Foster looking to clear. get the handball out, coming through. We got Ben Sheffers. Snap around the body. All over him. Free kick to Foster in the back pocket. Just all over him. And that might be Tom Whitemore again. Switches on here. Finds Bentley, the man in the sleeve. Bentley just takes what they give him. And just ambles up the ground. Brings it back inside. And there's two Foster blokes who could have raffled it. Foster have it now. Just possession footy. Back to Bentley. Bit of kick to kick. Finds the skipper. All on his own. Dill Williams. And they chip up the ground now again. Jack Flavel. Knee goes short to the man in the lid. This is just nearly training drill stuff. Running it up the ground. Kick. Harry Flavel now. About to go to the big boys. In it goes to the big boys. Up they fly. Robbo was in front. Drop the mark. Up they come. Chapman. Walsh. Dumping kick. Robinson has to fly. Great to the contest. Away it comes. Tom Lightmore. Long inside 50. Drop the mark. In they come. Foster finds the body. Ball hit the ground according to the umpire and will ball it up deep in 40 metres out from Foster's goal.
Yeah, I just can't quite find that winner at half forward. You know, every time it goes forward, the other side look like scoring. Not this time, though, by the looks of things, as you know, do win the stoppage and hack it forward, although Weston says, don't give up hope yet. And when Weston gets it, you know he's going to find a teammate. He does. Mark, handball, next kick, dangerous hot spot. No one can complete the mark. You know, I've got numbers there. Walsh is one of them. He flicks the ball back towards the boundary line. You know, I've got it now. Geary's there as an option. Brings the ball inside to D. Viglio.
He's just knocked Chappie out too. That was best. Just flattened Chappie. Ball's coming back in now, and Chappie still hasn't moved. Still hasn't got up yet. Weston has it. Sells a bit of candy. Handball's over. Best. Williams comes through. Jack Rathjen comes through now. Little kick kick inside. Missed it as well. Chapman bounced up now when he getting a cheap one. Turns it straight over though. They come out now wide to Toner. Toner's got time now to assess. Kicks inside. Great gather. Schneider handballs. Kicks up. Bailey Angwin goes a low darting torp and puts it through for a point. Jack Weston comes off and surely puts a dressing gown on.
So Robbo for Yinnar brings it in. They go up the middle this time to Linton. They've looked better in defence with Linton back there, I reckon, and Chapman playing higher. Just my opinion for what it's worth. About $1.20, I would have thought. Linton then goes far side wing. Goes to a one-on-one. Mark completed in front. I reckon that's Vandermeer out there.
It's the skipper.
He goes 7-on down the line. No one's able to complete that mark, though, and we'll ball it up in front of the tent. Have a look in that tent over there. What do you reckon's going on in the tent? Is it marquee style? Should we be over there with the wristband on and partaking in a few refreshments, or is just the can bar moved down a little bit to get it away from the canteen? Ball gets out the back of the contest. Foster win through the middle. First time today they've burned a teammate and they've turned it over at half back. Tom Robbo to Linton again. Linton goes to half forward. Got to play in front, Praddy. Mark taken here by Foster. They've got the option to switch either way, and they could also just go straight down the middle.
Quickest way home, straight up the guts.
And they do. Rathjen on the drive-by for the handball ignored. They go laterally, far side of the ground. Kick into the forward 50. Gets over the back of Norton's head. He turns inside out at the contest, runs flat out at it, does the little fella. Can't win at the ground level, though. Gets back up and has another crack in the boundary line, wins the argument. And we'll ball it back into play.
In front of the coffee cart.
The coffee cart. I'm not a coffee drinker as a rule, so I don't know much about what goes on over there. I think if I had a coffee now, it'd be the first one I've ever had in my life. They toss it back into play in front of the coffee cart. I don't want a cup of tea every now and again, though, to be fair. Umpire's found a free kick, and it's going to go the way of Jesse Bow in the ruck for a ruck infringement. And the Yinnar defence now spreading. Linton creates all sorts of space. Jesse turn around this way and kick it to Bobby.
Might have to bite off what he can chew, though.
Well, he does turn around this way, and he goes the shorter option. They mark it in the back pocket through Robbo. Linton's still on if he wants to bite that one off. He does now. Is it going to get there, Dirks?
It certainly does. Bobby Linton takes the mark in front of Williams. Looks inside. Handballs now. Stolke tries to find Sheffers. Could be a turnover here. Great pressure. Harry Flavel. We're only looking at one place. Bobby Linton make amends here. Wents to punch. Sheffers keeps it in. Keeps it in. Keeps dancing around. And he just actually dropped that football for some reason. And the umpires paid the free kick. Tom Schneider. He's been everywhere. He's just going to take some time off the clock and you can see where this is going to go. And straight up the line. And he finds Jake Best in front of Chappie. Just got rid of him. Jake Best in the pink boots, and I reckon that was a very quick quarter. So Jake Best after the siren.
I reckon I can find you 21 blokes in black and white jumpers that reckon that quarter went for about 4 days.
Looking to take some momentum into the last quarter. Jake Best, front of the bench. Kicks it. Just no score. Marked on the line.
So that's three-quarter time. Sam, you'll update us with the scores as they stand at three-quarter time, and then we'll go back to the studios and get Greg to give us a few sponsors' messages. Go for it.
It's 11-11, 77, and it's 1-2-8 for Yinnar.
Pretty ordinary stuff. 77 plays 8. They're going to need plenty of luck in the last quarter to even get out of this without being completely embarrassed, the black and whites. It's an unfortunate day for them. Their 2's won, their 4's won, so there's plenty to be happy about from a club point of view, but their seniors not in the contest. We'll come back in a few minutes' time and bring you all the last quarter action here from the Tarwin Rec Reserve. Sam, all the stats, all the facts, all the data, all the details. Why are Foster the best part of 12 goals in front?
Well, 26 inside 50s as compared to 12 for Yinnar. They've both had 3 centre clearances, so it looks like that it's even on that score. Similar in tackles, 21 to 22, so one tackle is not going to give a score to be the blowout as it is. 47 contested for Yinnar, 39 uncontested for Yinnar, 47 contested for Foster, 50 for uncontested. They had 9 free kicks. It's what you two have said. It's skill level and ball movement.
Yeah, skill level, ball movement, and just a bit of composure around the footy, I think, is the thing for me, Dirk. So just every time Foster get it, I know you said finals pressure, that sort of stuff, but every time Foster get it, they just look to have a minute.
Got so much time with the footy, and they're not panicking. They're just waiting for the right lead and the right pocket of space to open up. Hit the easy one, hit the easy 15, and if you hit 4 easy 15s, well, you're 50 metres closer to goal, aren't you? And then you can wheel and go to the big boys.
And I just wonder here if there's going to be any other structural changes. We called a few at half time and managed to get a couple of those right. They did have a little impact. Linton was very good behind the footy. Chapo came higher up the ground and got plenty of it until he got bowled over. Gears went in the middle and got his hand on the footy a fair bit in there for Yinnar, but ultimately, they couldn't get the ball through the big sticks and they're still stuck on a solitary goal. It's going to take a lot of soul-searching and a lot of reflecting from the Yinnar boys to get back up for a game next week, but you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater either. You've worked all year for this, and I reckon the message might have been at three-quarter time, let's get a couple of goals out of this and take some momentum into next week, because whether it's MDU or Fish Creek, you're going to have a contest because you're playing for a grand final. So we'll accept that Foster are through. The back-to-back is still on the cards for them, and it's just whether or not they play Yinnar again, whether they play Fish Creek, or whether MDU cause another upset tomorrow and give themselves a fighting chance the week after.
Well, they'll back themselves. They've lost to Yinnar by a goal and they beat Fish Creek 2 weeks ago. So,
well, if I'm Rhett Kelly and I'm seeing this and thinking this is Yinnar that I've got to beat to play in a grand final, I'm chips in tomorrow. But anyway, 20-odd minutes to go, and I'll start the clock this quarter, Sam, so I don't let you down. And the ball goes up in the middle of the ground. Flynn Shill with his head over it like it's been all day. Secondary stoppage, and Dirks, just a bit of philosophy on football from my point of view. If the ball doesn't leave the centre circle, why don't we go back and have a secondary ball up with everyone outside the square again? Bit of food for thought there anyway. Ball comes to ground. Foster winning at ground level. A little hack kick forward. Can't find a teammate. They go to spike the ball forward through hands. Probably not a clear handball there. And the umpire says, just give it to me and we'll try again. We'll try again as Bobby Linton unpeels himself from his opponent. If you get a kick on Bobby, you've earned it. It's the way he's always played. Jesse Bowe, backdoor handball, but only as far as an opposition player. And they get the ball into their forward 50. Best comes out, snaps around the corner, and get stuffed. Get stuffed. He's just gone out of the derriere, kicked the first to the last, and got seriously high with a celebration. Wowee. I reckon if the coach drew up a play at three-quarter time, he said, win it through the middle, boys, kick it to me and I'll kick a goal, and that'll set the last quarter alight for us, and that's exactly what's happened. But he's thrown a bit of GST on it by picking the ball up at ground level, snapping it around the corner under pressure and kicking a real good one, Sam.
So the scores are now Foster 12-10-84, Yinnar 128, so that makes it 76 points. I think, it'll be a 100-point flogging.
big call. Schneider gets the ball out, wins the clearance, kicks forward. McCall comes crashing forward. Shallings missed it. Weston, here he comes, 30 out, directly in front, on the fly. And Weston celebrated a goal, but the umpire called it a point. So he's had to tone down that celebration. Would have been a good goal. Robinson has the footy now. Looks to bite off something short. Finds Harry McCall. Harry McCall, great smother by Jack Weston. Done it all day. Angwin comes forward. In it comes. Foster are queuing up now. And in they go. They didn't have 1 foot in the grand final. They've got 2 now. Goals from turnover. If we kept that stat all day, it'd be a lot.
Any idea who's put their foot to that one?
That was Weston.
No, it wasn't Weston. I think it might have been James Morris.
Rightio.
Scores from turnover, Scotty. It's what the modern game is. You've got to be able to punish on turnover.
Yeah, it's a weird sort of concept sometimes, but I guess you got to do what you got to do, and if that's how you kick them, that's how you kick them. We said, want a couple and build some momentum in. Well, Foster said get stuffed and kick the first 2 inside of a minute. Win the clearance now through Walsh. He goes forward to Geary. Geary out muscle. Ball hits the deck. Coming in hard, picking it up is Vandermeer. No, it's not Vandermeer, it's Jacobson. He rolls around 1 and 2. They ignore Will Robinson and go deeper. Big mark taken down there. And a really good mark by Nixon Hall inside the forward 50. Just watch this injury here for us, Dirks, if you can.
Yeah, it's the skipper. Yeah, it is the skipper coming off. Stick me in out the window. I'll see what happens.
And I'll watch young Nixon Hall on a 45-degree angle from about 30 out. One of the few marks Yinnar taken inside 50 today. And he goes back and buries it. That's their second. Much needed. Much too late, Sam.
Yes, the scores are 13-11-91. Foster and Yinnar have kicked their second goal since their first goal since the first quarter. They go now to 2-14.
For those wondering at home, Dylan Williams, the captain, he just wanted a bottle of pickle juice to get through the last 20 minutes.
Interesting that he limped off to get the pickle juice. Nonetheless, we'll put it down to a bit of cramp and wish him all the well. And I guess he's got a week to get over whatever it is because he ain't playing footy next Saturday. He's got a grand final to win in a fortnight. Weston inserts himself into the middle. Norton says, watch this, Jack. This is how you do it. And he gets to the footy first, then gets out of the way for Flavell. Flavell gets out of the way for Norton. Norton hacks it forward. Spiked forward there. Chapman ends up with it, gets on the left shoe. Real smarty pants kick around the corner there. Ball taken by Yinnar in front of their coach's box. They go long down the line. Will Robertson sets himself underneath it, gets some separation early, takes a grab. He's got one-on-one at the top of the goal square. That's where the kick goes. From behind, Mark completed again.
Nixon Hall again.
Nixon Hall showing his wares. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve, Nixon. He's been bloody good on the ball all year, and now he's gone forward and taken a couple of contested clunks. And he'll go back and look to kick his second goal in the space of 60 seconds. So from straight in front, Hall comes in, kick on its way. Goal umpire just gets into a nice little limbo and watches it sail over her noggin. And Jack Weston might have had enough.
Yep. Get your big boys off now.
5 minutes in, so they're about 20 minutes away from celebrating the grand final entry for Foster. As the ball goes back into the middle, you didn't want to throw the score out there, Sam?
Yes, it's 13-11-91 Foster, and it's back-to-back goals for Yinnar. They're now 3-20, so that's still a deficit of 71 points.
Up we go. Bow in the middle. Wins the tap down. Walsh gone in the midfield this last quarter. Gets his second clearance. Up they fly. Foster with the intercepting mark. Clear the ball out. And here, nearly a hold there on Bailey Angwin. Bailey Angwin now just assesses his options and goes to the man in the lid, Norton. Reigning B&F winner for the whole league. Kicks down the line. Finds at Jack Rathjen. Jack Rathjen wheels, goes, looks for his big boys. And Harry McCall just chops off in front of Brett Eddy and says, I'll take that intercept mark, thank you. Harry McCall goes back to the goal square to Tom Robbo. Robbo goes down the far side, finds it, Stolk. Stolk now comes inside to Walsh. Not moving very far with the footy in but they're still holding possession. Walsh bites one up off the guts. On the bounce to Vandermeer. Finds Stolk by hand. Back to McCall. McCall looks for Chapman. Chapman gets there. Chapman wheels and goes on that left. Kicks to Pratty. Great spoil. They clear now through. Angwin now. Ball inside. Great feet. Tom Schneider has it now. And this looks bad. That is an ankle. Harry McCall has done an ankle in front of us. Ball to the square. 2-on-1. Ball comes crashing down. Brady crashes the pack. Handballs to Stolk. Looking to clear, but they can't. I reckon this will get stopped if the ball comes out this way. Burrow sets himself 40 metres out. Foster. Norton. Norton swings on his right. Puts it out of bounds on the full. I think if I was, I'd be wrapping Harry McCall up in cotton wool for next week.
Yeah, not a lot to be achieved in the last 18 minutes or so of play as he limps from the ground. Under his own steam, he's up on his feet. He's in a bit of discomfort, but importantly is walking unassisted as, have the ball in their back pocket. Another little half kick, can't quite find a winner, but they've got numbers at ground level here, and they win it there. Kick comes in the middle. Big Jesse Bow goes back with it. Mackay chips in, takes the mark, puts the Jets on, kicks down to Geary at half forward. Geary picks up the half volley, rolls the ball out in front of himself, a bit of Kevin Bartlett style there. Gets the ball round the corner into the forward 50. Clean bowls, big Will Robbo. He comes in and puts a bit of defensive pressure on, but a little bit too much defensive pressure it might have been. As we've got another wounded soldier walking off the ground here.
Lockie Rafton.
Been good today.
And for some reason, Jack Weston's going to the interchange gate, so I would have thought he'd be done. Clearing kick down the line to the wing. Ball will bounce out of play, or they keep it in. No, trickles out of bounds. Just beats Norton to the football.
And it was Williams that came back on for Rafton. So obviously the pickle juice has worked its magic, and it was just a cramp.
It's magic, that stuff.
I never eat the pickles on my hamburgers, mate. I ain't drinking the juice. Ball tossed back into play. Foster win the tap. They gain about 15, 18 metres, and then it rolls over the boundary line for a throw-in. I'll tell you what, Jack Weston standing down there looks cool as a cucumber. I reckon we can pop a headphone on him and have a chat. He just looks like he's pretty happy with the way things are going at the minute. They'll toss the ball back in, far side of the ground. No one's able to win it initially. Ball rolls forward. Now Blake Vandermeer for Yinnar gets it. Flicks a handball directly down the throat of a Foster opponent who reciprocates to Clancy Mills. And Clanger says, thanks very much. I'm going to kick it to Angus Norton. No one can find anyone in the same coloured jumper. Norton now can. He goes backwards. Mark taken.
Morris.
Solid grab back there by James Morris. He's got a little one on in front of him, but he ignores that and goes further down the line, Dirks.
Finds his captain in Williams. Williams plays on his trusty left, into the leading lane for the big full forward, Brett Eddy, and there was probably not much Robbo could do about that. That's just a great left foot kick into the leading lane, and straight to the stereotype that all us left footers are good kicks. Brett Eddy will line up, 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. Got the perfect view of it right in front of me. Just ambles in. Drop punt on its way. Sliding. Didn't slide enough. And it is through for a goal. Brett Eddy kicks another one. Sam, what are we up to now?
Foster 14-11-97. Yinnar 3-2-20, so that's 77 points the difference.
And if you want to talk about a team that's invested in each other's success, Jack Weston stood there and watched that whole thing unfold. I couldn't see a single thing that was going on, Dirks. And as soon as you said the mark was taken, he had both hands in the air celebrating. Now, that's a bloke who's come back to the club this year and is bought in big time. And there we go, back out on the park, and he'll probably win the clearance and kick the ball to the full forward himself. Although Norton probably gets in there. Yep, Norton does win it, but they turn it over through the middle of the ground, and then Yinnar go forward. Kick comes in, Mark taken in defence.
A lot more.
Is that Torre, is it?
Yeah.
So he marks, lasers a pass out there to a teammate. Rathjen who marks, he goes through the middle of the ground. It's a worm burner, but he's got plenty of time angling. He picks it up, reels, rolls, kicks it in the forward pocket. Eddie goes up, gets two dukes to it. Ball hits the ground, snaps around the corner on his left leg.
They pay it. They paid it.
Yep, Harry Flavel.
Harry Flavel. Brett Eddy, stiff arm, snap, kick the ball, bounce in the goal square, and Harry Flavel said, I'll enjoy it going to final and kick it off the ground from the 2 metres out.
Why not?
Oh, sorry, Foster have now got their 3 digits, as in the last 3. 15-11-103 to 3-2-20, so that's 83 points. So that 100-point margin looks pretty good, I think.
Certainly does, but obviously margins don't really matter in finals. You just need to be in front at the end. Ball back in the middle. Bo, Rafton, up they go. Rafton doesn't even fly, just lets Bo hit it straight to him. So the ruckman gets the clearance. Kicks long. Forwards fly. Eddie doesn't mark. Ball comes down. Turner. Wheels, goes, and just pushes it to the side, Jack Flavel. Now we'll look to bring it in through Stolk. Not much movement up ahead. Probably long down the line by the order of the day with him kicking, I think. Exactly what happens. Kicks as long as he possibly can to the wing. Ball crashing down. We'll get a repeat. Oh no, free kick being paid to Ollie McCall. Ollie McCall has it at the entrance. Long down the line. Looking for the big boys. Foster crashed the pack. In it comes. Weston comes through with the footy. Takes a tackle, and we'll get a stoppage here. In front of that Australian flag. Ball up. Burrow. Rafton. Rafton wins it down. Weston, as he has all day, wins the clearance. Schneider kicks it forward. One-on-ones everywhere. Bounce of the ball. Favours Yinnar. Chapman. Little grubber kick. Only goes 20 metres. He'll be looking for the boundary line. And he finds it. Oh, out in the full. Out on the full, the young boundary umpire is called. So Blake Vandermeer has a footy. Vandermeer goes long down the line. Been the order of the day for the last little bit. Punch forward by Foster. And they take the secondary stoppage again. Stoppages galore to finish off this game.
It's the one stat that are definitely winning is that they've received 5 free kicks for being out on the full, whereas Foster is 2.
There we go. Ball bubbling around up on that far wing. The umpire will say, give it here, boys. I'll throw it up again. Up they go. Bow wins it down. What have they found? Free kick to Foster for a hold. Contact with the umpire. It's a new one for today.
Bloody Kent Hutchinson won't mind his own business down there. I don't know.
In they go. Foster into the leading lane, and he's got it. Brett Eddie's got it. 30 out, 45-degree angle. All in that far pocket. Wouldn't know what he's shooting for, but nearly be at half a dozen, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's had enough of it. He should give someone else a turn.
In he comes, Brett Eddy. Strolls in, drop punt on its way. He liked his own work. So's the umpire. That's another goal to Foster. They're just piling on the pain now. Sam, what do you got for us?
16, 12, 110. Foster, 3-2, 20. Yinnar, 90-point difference.
So we're nearly 16 minutes into the last quarter here. It's all academic. It's all Foster who are off to the grand final. In a couple of weeks' time, they'll get to sit home on their home deck next week and watch the two sides battle it out for the right to play. One of them will be Yinnar, and the other one will be either Fish Creek or MDU. And we'll let you know who that'll be tomorrow at about 4 o'clock on Gippsland FM. But we've still got 10-odd minutes here to play, and Bo goes bang and spikes the ball into the forward half, but it's picked up down there by Rathjen across the half-back line. He's been awesome. His kick finds exactly what he was looking for, which was the centre wing boundary. And the crowd is genuinely thinned out over there. It's a bit like my receding hairline. The longer it goes, the less there is of it.
Beating the traffic, Scotty.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the traffic will be going past the Tarwin Lower Hotel and the Yinnar Hotel, who are great sponsors of ours at Gippsland FM. Yinnar win the ball. Walsh worried out of it. Yinnar, circle. Still can't pick it up cleanly. I tell you what, if you ask both coaches right now, I reckon they'd agree. The captains would shake hands. And that'd be the end of it. But we've got about 8 minutes to go. Bobby Linton again comes backwards to go forwards, finds Stolk. Stolk's got Mills on real wide and he uses it. Mills in plenty of space. He can flick it over to Shill by a hand. Ignores that. Grinstead Jones offers up a lead. Walsh through the middle. They take the Walsh option. He then goes back from whence it came. Tom Robbo in the centre circle. A little 5-iron down the line. Mark taken there by Mills. And he's got about 30 humans to kick the ball into, and he goes thump as long as he can. Sit under that and play fair. And Liam Bentley says, I'll take the easiest mark of my life. The easiest mark of my life, and he just goes back and swallows a TW Sharon with both Dukes.
Kicks it to his captain, Williams.
So Williams on the halfback flank. He's got Weston on short. Ignores that. Goes over the top of that. Good ticker by Mackay, the kid. Comes back, puts in a contest. The youngster, not even 18, sets the standard. Gets his head taken off and gets to his feet and takes it. Good work from the young fella he plays on. Kicks straight into Jack Weston. The difference in experience there, about 300 years.
Oh, no.
Weston's cramped up here, I hope. And the ball is punched away from the defender. Well, we just watched Jack Weston commando roll off the ground.
It was a free kick in the marking contest to Nixon Hall again. Could kick his third in the quarter. And you'd hoping that's a cramp because there was nothing to gain by putting him back on for the last 10 minutes, or the last 35 minutes, to be fair.
Well, he won't be coming back on because he didn't go off through the interchange. He literally just rolled straight off the ground as Nixon Hall comes in. And he sort of says, this kick and goal stuff can't be that hard. I've been forward for 15 minutes and kicked 3 of the bloody things.
He'll be in the Express for 3 times.
Oh, Willie Watt. Willie Watt. And good coverage in the Express too. The kid who writes that stuff is an absolute gem.
He's got a good editor, doesn't he?
Oh, I was going to say the editor's got a bit of room for improvement in him, but when he's winning all these country racing awards, you can't knock him, can you?
No, score 16, 12, 110. Foster 4-2, 26. Yinnar, that's 70.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. 84 points. So
Up we go in the centre. Bow wins it down. Walsh, been good in the midfield in the last quarter. Finds Ollie McCall. Comes forward, straight up the guts. Contest in the middle. Kid with the lid. Norton goes after it. Great smother there. Looking to clear. Harvey McKay. Handball inboard. Bobby Litton again. Handball to DeVillio. DeVillio by hand. Great feet. Into the leading lane. And I reckon he's got it again. We're coaching masterclass if he did this earlier.
Yeah, well, if you can do it 20 more times.
Nixon Hall going for his 4th in a quarter and just maybe an ace up the sleeve for next week.
See, Linton's been good since he's stopped going into the ruck as well, just playing around the ground. His ball use has been as good as any from the side.
Just hasn't panicked when he's got the footy, just biting off what he can chew.
He's human.
He's missed.
Minor score only. They add 1 to the tally, which is roughly 100 short of where they'd like it to be. And Foster will get the kick in for, what about the 3rd time today? 4th time today?
Yeah, 4-3 I think I've got him at.
Once we get the footy back, and they've got it back, and off to the races we go.
Straight up the guts.
I like it. Quickest way home. Not a great result, though, when the mark's taken by Brendan Chapman, completely uncontested. Halfway between the centre circle and centre half forward. He kicks out in the Hall direction. Why not? Because he's caught everything.
Catches that as well.
The only thing he hasn't caught today is coronavirus. And he'll have another shot on goal from about 40 out on a 45-degree angle. Big Jesse Bow getting down there. He thinks he's half a sniff for a grab on the goal line here, I think, the big fella. So he's gone back with a decent sort of run-up. For goal 4 for himself, 5 for the side. In a lone hand effort, Nixon Hall comes in, kick on its way. I think it's quite got the legs, and big Jesse Bow got both Dukes to it, punched away from him, picked up at ground level, snapped around the corner, smothered. Norton goes in, gets his hands on it, comes backwards through Schill. He comes back to Mills. Mills, Clancy, no good, a minor score only.
1 only.
So Foster will get to kick the ball back in again, and let's see if they go that long down the middle stuff.
Bite off something. Find the captain here on the half-back flank. Handball over the top. Tries to bite something off, and all he does is find James Jacobson on the wing, right in front of us. James Jacobson just assessing all options. Sells a bit of candy, runs around 1, and then just punches a 9 iron. There he's got it again. It's been everywhere in the last quarter. His ranking points will be off the charts. Nixon Hall. Handballs to Walsh. Walsh runs inside 50 from 35 and tugs it to the left. 1 score only.
Now, I know footy's all about ticker and courage and you do the right thing, but if I'm the coach of Foster, I'm getting out to Angus Norton saying, if you back with the flight of the footy again when we're 90 points up in front of a 100-kilo bloke, you're not playing. Completely and utterly no need for it at this stage of the game. All he's going to do is get himself hurt, but nonetheless, Foster now bring the ball back into play. A hack kick down the middle to Walsh, who marks in the centre square on his own. He plays on his shoe, over kicks. Although he'd probably say he was aiming for Flynn Schill and I got it wrong. Shilly then dances around 1, smothered by 2. Ball to be 1 at ground level, and that's exactly what Foster do. Hack the ball back through the middle. Walsh again back there on his own. They can come laterally where they've got some numbers and steady things down, and they do that through Stolk. Stolk a little chip kick there towards Schill. And Clanger's got it in the centre circle. He goes long in Jesse Bow's direction. Liam Bentley flies from behind, gets enough of it. The old coach has lost the GPS. Jake Best in the back pocket, turns it over. And Clancy takes the mark, and a couple of boys go to ground, and the umpire says, just hang on a tick, as those boys pull themselves back to their feet. I speak of Mackay and Banbury, I think, is it?
Yeah, Banbury. Bam. They find Jacobson here, 52 metres from home. Jake Best is just on his own, 40 metres out, trying to sit in the hole, but can't stop Grinstead Jones marking it in front of Norton. 24-minute mark of the last quarter. Grinstead Jones, haven't called his name much today. Lays it up to the top of the square. Big boys fly. They're all down there. Falls on down. Nixon Hall with the crumb. Ball cleared by Foster. Might be coming back with interest. Bobbing around up there. Flynn Schill dancing, weaving. Walsh, Mills, gets a clear shot. Misses, went the pass to Grinstead Jones and just missed in. The ball trickles out of bounds in the right forward pocket. 25 gone in the last. Couldn't be much left. And you'd be getting your good players off now, you'd think, or just sending them deep forward to rest. Ball to be thrown in. Pratt, Rafton. Rafton flies over the top. Foster clear it away. It's all Yinnar. There's only Brett Eddy in their half of the ground. So Chapman to Robbo. They just raffle it all the way through for some easy touches. Find Skinner. Skinner goes long on his left. Inside 50. Foster take the relieving mark. There's James Morris. Morris, straight up the guts, finds a Luth. One of those Rafton boys, I reckon that is. And here they go. They go wide. In front of the canteen. The canteen is shut. No food left. Down the wing. Norton flies over the top to Jake Best. Playing as a loose halfback now. Brett Eddy, 2-on-1. Flies over the top of Robinson. Robinson clears it off. Clancy Mills will clean this up. Come wide to Jacobson. Jacobson takes a mark in the pocket. One step kick over the top. Finds his captain. Vandermeer comes inside. Finds Walsh. Walsh goes down to the bottom side. Finds Chapman. Chapman on that left. Long ball right in front of the coaches, in front of the change rooms. Just holding it up now. Long down the line. Order of the day. So the free kick here to Will Robbo. Will Robbo, 55 from home. Late stages of the last. Kicks a chiseling ball straight to a Foster bloke. Foster dropped the mark. Looking to clear now. And they do indeed. They come back inside. Find Angus Norton, the man with the lid.
It's kind of fitting if the Hooter just went now with Norton with the ball in his hand, because that's pretty much how it started and how it's been all day. But he goes a little pass to a teammate in the middle of the ground, and they just possess the footy at their leisure. Grand final awaits in 14 days. Their chance to go back-to-back. Robinson spoils at the half-back line. Stolk picks it up and thumps a handball backwards. And Yinnar will maintain possession across the back line. Grinstead Jones puts on a lead. Mackay puts on a lead. Both ignored. And the umpire has paid the mark and it will go Yinnar's way. And pretty much all the interest has gone out of the game. Even the blokes out there participating genuinely in the middle of the could not give a stuff areas. Except the Foster forwards, who are quite happy to grab another goal if the opportunity arises, and arise it might. Rathjen ignored, then gets it, then gets cleaned up. Not going to get the easy one that would have really capped off his awesome day. DVG gets a handball over there to the runner, Jacobson. Jacobson puts it up. Schill takes a grab. And then Schill pushes back from Norton. Norton says, the umpire says play on, and Norton goes and chases him down. And genuinely, they could not give a stuff out there, Dirks.
Nah,
they have all put the cue in the rack.
I've had trainings that are harder than this.
And Skinner takes the mark, gets inside 50. Principal Skinner misses. Doesn't even score, in fact. Ball stays in play. Pratt can't get his hands on it. He's got 4 blokes down there to beat. Surprisingly enough, 4 beats 1. And they'll relieve. And the siren sounds with the ball
Jack Flavel
in the hands of Jack Flavel, right in front of the Foster's coach's box. And they're a pretty happy crew, the Foster crew. They have had a big second semi-final win and won their way through to the game that matters the most in 2 weeks' time for Yinnar. They'll get to butter up, lick their wounds, and have a crack next week in the prelim. And they'll take on the winner of tomorrow's game between MDU and Fish Creek. And good to see Jack Weston out there not limping in any way whatsoever. So his commando role was clearly cramp rather than a torn calf, which would have been a shattering end of the season for the superstar that he is. Sam, final scores if you could. Then we'll go back to the studio for a moment and then come back and wrap everything up here.
16-12, 110, Foster. Yinnar, 4-5-29. That's an 81-point loss.
So we'll just go back to Greg in the studio for a couple of moments, then we'll come back and wrap things up and let you know all the details about tomorrow's coverage of the big semi-final at Newborough.
Serving Latrobe City and the greater Gippsland area, 3 Bears.
Oh, Jesus.
No, he didn't play. If he hadn't
No,
played, there might have been a chance.
Yeah, he might have been out of Harbour. Sam Walsh, very good. Had a lot of footy. Michael Geary, very good up forward. Just used the ball very well. Nixon Hall, I suppose he's going to get in the best. He kicked three into junk. And Clancy Mills and Harry McCall if you have to round out a 6.
Yeah, interesting. You couldn't find room for Luke Linton in there. I thought Bobby was fantastic, but we all have different views of the game. That's what makes it such a wonderful game. Sam, a bit of an easy, or actually, it might actually be a harder task trying to narrow down which of Foster's players weren't awesome.
Well, I went a more open look because I know the full forwards are capitalised, but the suppliers such as Dylan Williams, Tom Schneider, Jack Flavelle, Angus Norton, Jack Rathjen, Bentley down back, and a big shout out to who kept quiet. Aaron Rhodes kept Grinstead to no goals. So I think he should get if there was a six-pack award, he'd be getting one of them.
Yep, fair enough too. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. So I'm sure his nickname would be Dusty as well. It tends to be the way for anyone with a surname of Rhodes. So big result there at Tarwin Rec Reserve. Foster getting the job done. They, of course, will go on and play in the grand final in a couple of weeks' time. The same grand final they won last year. So they're looking to go back-to-back. They will take on the winner of tomorrow's game. I think, Dirk, you might be part of the commentary crew tomorrow out there at Newborough. We're going to see Fish Creek versus MDU. Fish Creek and MDU played just a couple of weeks ago. MDU got the better of them. Do you give MDU a puncher's chance tomorrow, or is it Fish Creek resting a few and they're just going to be too good on the day?
You're always a puncher's chance in a final, but my money will be with Fish Creek. I think they're the best. I think they're the best team in it, and I think they will. I reckon they can win and they can knock Yinnar out in straight sets.
Fair enough. And for yourself, Sam, we've seen MDU and Fish Creek a couple of times this year. Your thoughts?
I think MDU, because even though they didn't get the double chance as Fish Creek, I just think they've gone up another level this year as compared to last year, especially when Sculling goes into the ruck and gives some of his little brigade a bit of a silver service to get the ball out of the middle.
So there you have it. There, two experts. One's declared that Fish Creek are not only going to win, they're going to go the whole way and win the comp, and the other saying that they're not going to go beyond tomorrow. So take your choice. One of you will be right and one of you will be wrong.
Split the deadlock for us, Scotty.
Exactly right.
Who you got?
Fish Creek will win tomorrow. They'll win by about 6 goals. They're a quality side, and I think Yinnar will bounce back very, very heavily next week. On that game, I think that's Foster prelim final, so we'll be bringing you all the coverage that Saturday afternoon as well from 2 o'clock. And then on grand final day, I'm sure Greg will tell you all about this, but look out world, Gippsland FM is heading to MDU on grand final day. There'll be live broadcasts of both the reserves and the senior grand final. Plenty of prizes and competitions, some interaction, and a couple of our regular Saturday shows on air there as well. So thanks for joining in today, wherever you're listening in from. Thanks for all your work back in the studio there, Greg, and thanks for Dirks and Sam and everyone else involved in bringing us the coverage. And, of course, our travelling technical experts.
Jordan, big shout out to you because you set up the internet and the Starlink. Without that assistance, we're going nowhere with our broadcast.
And you should see the flash sign he's got for us, Greg. You'll love it on grand final day if you get to come out and have a little look. A nice electronic sign that flashes nice and brightly and tells everyone who we are and what we're doing. So I'll throw back to you in the studio. Good afternoon, listeners, and travel safe.